We are back. We are live. It's a Monday morning. You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5 WCMF. How's it going, buddy?
Pretty good, buddy.
What's going on, female buddy?
Doing good, buddy.
Long time no see, guys.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I missed you so much.
Tan, rested, and ready, buddy.
You look great.
I am very tan.
Kimmy, been better.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling rested.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right, so, by the way, 64 degrees right now. Going to get up into the mid-80s on this beautiful July day. We all had stuff going on last week while we were gone. You went to Chicago.
See a grandbaby, yes.
Wonderful. Kimmy, did you do anything?
I actually had a ton of friends from out of town that were all home at once, so a lot of friend and family time.
Oh, it was like one of those things when no one else is around, you had friends?
What?
I got a girlfriend, but she's in Canada. Goes to another school in Canada, so like you're probably never gonna meet her. My friends were in town when you guys weren't here, so like you're probably never gonna see them. Though that's cool. You got to see your friends.
Yeah.
So
Missed you guys so much.
me and the family, we went to Washington D.C. last week.
Yeah.
Yep, for America's birthday. That was cool. I will say this: if you're looking to do a vacation on a budget for the family, D.C. is the perfect place to go. Because all of the museums are free.
Oh, all the time?
Did you know that?
No.
I didn't either.
Like you can walk in.
Smithsonian, all the Smithsonian museums, you just walk in. It's all free, all of it.
Damn.
Right? And the hotels were not expensive at all. Like everything you go see, the Lincoln Memorial, you can pay for like upgraded stuff. But we went to Arlington. We went to go see all the statues and sites. We went to every museum possible that we can go to. We didn't spend a dime on any of it.
Damn.
It was amazing. But I did have what might have been the weirdest experience of my life happen Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So today, I believe, the NATO conference starts in Washington, D.C.
Oh, man, I should have put that in my calendar.
Okay, here's the thing. I also would not know this was going on had it not been for the fact that it was taking over Washington, D.C. while we were there.
So all the people from all over the globe,
I think
all NATO folk?
Presidents, prime ministers, heads of state, all of these people are descending upon Washington, D.C. Right? So because of that, there were these massive preparations happening starting on Friday. So the security detail for every NATO country in the world is in D.C.
So they send their guys first.
You got it.
All their muscle.
Yeah, they're walking around and they're securing everything.
It must have looked like a bunch of like your husband.
A bunch of my husband?
Yeah, like jacked up dudes.
Bigger and scarier.
Wow.
And there's a reason I'm telling you this up front. So,
What?
I didn't want to not work out while I was in D.C.
Are you one of these people that works out on vacation, man?
Yes, I am.
Leaves his family behind.
Why would you do that, man? The amount of money you're spending to be on vacation, you're going to go downstairs and do push-ups?
Get ready.
Stay ready. What? What do you get ready for?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
For what? What do you get ready for? They calling you to Paris to swim in a river?
So I lucked out.
You're working out at the hotel?
No, it wasn't at the hotel. There was a boxing gym like 3 blocks from where I was.
My
So not only did that, you had to seek a specific type of exercise on vacation.
It's what I do when I lucked out. Look, I could have worked out in the hotel gym, but I just lucked out. This place was around the corner, and the guys that ran it were super cool. They let me get in early before my family woke up.
Are you sure you missed us? Are you sure?
Yeah. All right, so you're doing your little boxing workout.
So on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, I would get up at like 6 before the family would get up. And I would
in some mitt work.
Yeah, I'd go put an hour in on all the bags.
You're going to chase that chicken. You're a no good. You got to catch that chicken. So what happened?
Saturday morning, I'm in there working out. And every time I was in there, it was just me and like this 20-something-year-old guy who worked there who was also working out, right? He was very cool, let me in, go work out. So Saturday morning, as I'm in there by myself with this other guy who runs the place, these 2 guys walk in. And they are the scariest men I have ever seen in my life. They are both 6'5", 6'6". Now, I'm a tall dude, and these guys are towering over me. They look like they're carved out of granite. Yeah. They are jacked out of their mind. They're both wearing red tank tops with a crescent moon and a star.
Oh.
Turkey.
Yeah. Is Turkey good?
I don't know. Is Turkey good?
I don't know. They like a nice country Turkey always reminds me of a country I'm not so sure if they're cool or not. Because they kind of look commie. You know?
Let me tell you. I don't know.
Anytime I see a completely red flag, I get nervous.
Maybe this will help.
Hey.
One of the they both have bald shaved heads. They are both wearing tank tops. Their shoulders look like human heads. Like these guys are.
So it's like Richie Incognito went to Turkey.
It's like if Richie Incognito was all muscle.
Could be, kind of is.
No, he had a little chub. I wouldn't say it to his face.
No. All right.
Let me put it this way.
So these guys look like like those guys like in those fitness magazines.
They've got to be. I'm assuming they're the Secret Service for Turkey.
All right.
And this is before the Turkish, whoever prime minister, president has gotten there, and they're here to work out. One of the guys was wearing just a tank top and leggings. He wasn't even wearing shorts. And here's the thing, dude pulled it off.
Leggings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's European.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like you notice these guys walk in, and even in the middle of me like hitting a bag, I'm like, holy crap! Like these guys are terrifying, right? So I'm doing my thing, and they're walking around, and they're speaking to each other in Turkish, and they're putting like hand wraps on, right? So I'm in the middle of a break, and one of the guys, the biggest one, the big scary one, comes over. They're both scary. The scarier of the two, the one in just the leggings, comes over, and he goes, "You fight? You fight?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "You fight." And he's pointing towards the ring they have, and he's like walking over, like moving his head.
Like he wants you to go box with him?
This is what I'm gathering, but I'm still like, there's no way he wants. He's like, "You fight." And then the other guy's like, "Oh, you fight, you fight, you fight, you." And he's like pointing at him, and he's like, "You fight, you fight." And I go, "Oh, no. I go, I don't fight anymore." And they're both like, "You fight, you fight, you fight, you fight."
So like they're basically telling you get in the ring, shut up.
They want to get in and they're being very friendly.
Yeah, but they kill
Now.
you.
Oh, they would have slaughtered me.
Yeah.
Like, both of these men would have slaughtered me. And I'm like, I don't even know. I'm trying to, like, deeply explain myself to these two guys who...
And it's kind of broken English.
They have a tenuous grasp on the English language at best, which is not their fault. They're not from America.
Let me ask you this. Turkish, is that one of them accents where it also sounds like they're constantly mad, even when they're not?
No, it was more fast.
Okay.
They weren't angry.
All right.
It didn't sound angry. So, like,
what happened?
They start speaking to each other in Turkish.
Ooh, I don't like that.
And I go back to doing what I'm doing, right? So in the middle of me, I'm in the middle of like hitting a bag. And the other dude comes up, he taps me on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And he goes, we fight.
So now this guy wants to fight.
Yeah, but they were already...
Why don't they just fight each other?
I don't know why they don't just fight. They could fight each other. They
or
could
fight that
each
other
other.
kid that works there.
So I go, listen, man.
Hey, Skippy, get in the ring.
I go, I don't have my headgear. I don't have a mouthpiece. So all of a sudden, the music that was playing there cuts out. The kid who's working there, he's like in his early 20s. He comes over. He goes, hey, man, I got headgear. I got a mouthpiece for you.
So this kid's in on it,
He's
too.
in. He goes,
Shut up, kid.
Everybody wants to see you get your ass kicked.
So I'm go, no, really. I go, listen. So now I'm talking to the kid who I know speaks English because he's American. And I go, listen, man, I got my wife and kids here. If I get cut, if I get hit hard, if I get bruised up, my wife's going to kill me. I can't do it. Now he's judging me. I can feel him judging me. So the two Turkish guys, the other guy comes over. They're speaking to each other in Turkish, and they're laughing.
Oh.
They're laughing.
What's
Little
Turkish for
American
sissy? American bitch.
Worst Steppenwolf song of all time.
American bitch won't get in the ring.
Is that Steppenwolf?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Oh, excuse me, Kato.
So what happened?
Anywho. Finally, I go, listen, man, I can't. And they get the gist of it. Other dude leaves me alone. So the two dudes start walking away, the Turkish dudes. And like it's a bad, cheesy 80s movie.
What happened?
The taller one turns around.
Yeah.
And the music is off. The music is cut. It's just silence in the gym. Quiet. He looks at me and goes, I thought America was home of the brave.
No.
And they both start laughing.
Wow.
And they get in the ring. And I'm standing there like it was like Charlie Brown in the rain. I'm just like,
Man, they're that rude. What dicks,
You know what's
man?
funny though? I
love these guys.
every Turkish person I've ever met, which is like two.
You met Turkish people?
I have met
never
two
met a
Turkish people. They had great senses of humor.
That doesn't see that country doesn't come across to me as like
you
a
wouldn't
humor
think so,
country.
but they did.
It's in that area of the world that doesn't seem to have comedy clubs.
are you sure you know where Turkey is?
No.
Okay, because I can't place it either.
It's like over
Isn't it
by
over,
like
near Greece, like
I thought it was like closer to like Iran.
Oh, wait, you never
and-
played the Turkey Improv?
No. Apparently they don't let American bitches in. No, I always thought like Turkey was by like Iran
Sure.
and like Iraq and they got
Up near Iraq?
Iraq.
Across the street from the Z20?
Yes. Like areas that I'm not gonna go check out.
I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not even. The crescent moon and the star is Turkey, right? Red, that's Turkey.
Yeah.
Sounds
okay.
it.
All right.
If
So
it
then
ain't,
we're
it's a
Turkish.
country I ain't going to.
So here's the thing.
All right.
With these two men wanting to spar, box, and me
laugh at
saying
you.
no, and then him, I could not believe. Like I've never been more hurt.
It sounds like you were humiliated.
It was humiliating, and no one else was there to see it. Yet I'm still super humiliated. It was like Rocky IV. If Rocky got to Russia and was like, I'm not going to fight him.
Yeah.
I thought America was home of the brave, and walks away slowly while they're laughing and speaking in Turkish to each other. Did I let America down?
You did. You really did.
But also, would you have also let America down if you just got your ass completely beat?
Which would have happened.
Yeah.
It would have happened. I would
So
have been
I'm going to say you did the right thing here.
Here's the worst thing you're not thinking about.
What's that?
So when those guys went back to the hotel with their other people, all the Turkish.
What do you mean other people?
The other Turkish.
What do you mean those people?
those crescent moon people. You know they brought it up. Like, you were probably like the talk of the Turkish community at that hotel. They probably got all the way up to like the ambassador, whoever was there. They're all laughing, smoking cigars and stuff, and drinking whatever Turkish people drink.
Should I? Turkish Delight.
Yeah. Oh, Turkish taffy.
Should I have gotten in the ring?
Oh,
with them?
man, that would have killed you.
So then what do you? Well, then what am I? There's no winning there.
No, but I'm kind of enjoying the story.
No, it really made me feel like I'm being sincere when
You
I say
had to
this.
be humiliated.
Well, it's
and
past.
I've seen your act, man.
I have no problem being humiliated. I'm humiliated on a pretty regular basis. Like, I've gotten used to humiliation. What made it hurt more?
What's that?
Is, you're like me. You love history. And being in
Except I don't know where Turkey is.
History of America.
Yeah.
Being in Washington, D.C. on the 4th of July with everything going on. There's elections coming up.
Sure.
The NATO conference is about to be there. There was
Pretty
so
cool.
much happening. I mean, it was electric, man. I love that stuff. We went to, like I said, we went to every museum. I was just soaking it in. And it made me really, really proud to be an American all weekend.
Wow.
Right? Like, I'm just there. It was just, I was in all of my glory. It was beautiful. And there was something about... Like, there are, thousands of people walking around all the time. But everyone was great to each other.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, wow, this is awesome. It's something that I hadn't felt in a very long time.
Okay.
I had walked away. At least I thought I was
We were all one.
I thought I was going to leave D.C. inspired.
Till you met Ivan the Turk.
It made me feel unpatriotic.
Oh, really? Because you didn't stand up for America to these Turks?
But like Kimmy said, I would have gotten
Your ass kicked.
slaughtered.
Yeah.
So, like... Is it patriotic to take a beating for Uncle Sam at the hands of Turkey?
Well, it wouldn't count for anything. You know what I mean? It's not like D-Day. Let's say...
No, obviously.
Like,
Could you not do what you always do? You compare...
One extreme.
The bravest
I
actor
gave a guy, oh, you're not Jesus. I didn't spar with the Turkey. You didn't storm Normandy. Shut up. You were saying, I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, it wouldn't count for crap.
I would have counted there in that room for America, baby.
I only want to be patriotic if people see it. I don't want to do, like, hidden patriotism. What does that get me?
Hidden patriotism?
You're going to get a black eye for nobody.
Right. If you're going to be patriotic, make sure somebody sees it so you get credit.
No, but at least the story...
Because if you tell me, it may not have really happened.
No, but here's the thing. If I walked in here with a black eye today or I was all cut up because some guy from Turkey
I
beat
did
the
it
hell
for
out of me,
America.
I did it for America.
Okay,
I
all
did
right.
it for USA.
All right.
All 13 stripes and 50 stars. USA. USA. And I couldn't say it like that because my jaw probably would have been wired
And you're
shut.
right, man. Your wife would have been so pissed off if you came back with a fat lip and a shiner and you got to go out with the kids all day and have slurred dinner.
252 WCMF, 2 large Turkish men who I believe were part of the Turkish Secret Service or whatever they call it on Saturday morning tried to get me to spar them in a boxing gym in Washington, D.C.
How are you the only person I know that when goes on vacation you find these people?
What are you talking
Because you went to D.C., you hung up with a biker gang. And then
No,
you
that was in Detroit.
Detroit.
Yeah.
And then you go to D.C. and you run into Ivan the Terrible.
Well, because I don't know when I go. It just happens.
No, you draw every place you go. Didn't you go? You're the only person I know that ever went to, what was it, Cracker Barrel and saw a fight.
In Erie, Pennsylvania.
And saw a fight.
No, you see this stuff?
I don't see any of this stuff. I just took a little trip. I didn't see nothing.
It's because you go to high-end old people vacations. But
But I see a lot of grumpy old. Hey, I say,
High-end old people vacations.
but you see grumpy old men. They didn't even start.
Yeah,
this
you would
crap.
think like the older, the grumpier, the more likely there is to be an argument.
Look, I don't know what you want from me, man. I wish I hadn't been put in this situation.
I think for some reason this stuff is drawn to you.
Well, he also seeks out weird places
Yes.
like a boxing gym
Yes.
in D.C.
No, but
At
here's
6 o'clock in the morning.
the weirdest part.
What?
Here's the weirdest part. It wasn't even like an authentic box. Like, I go to a real boxing gym.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to say
My
it. I'll
God.
put it straight
Sure,
out. And that's why I felt comfortable going to this gym. I go to Rock Boxing on Atlantic Avenue, and it's like when you walk in, it's like every boxing gym you've ever seen in your life in a movie, right? It's
So it's got leaky pipes and like old posters and it smells like balls.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly, and I love it. That's where this place was one of those like trendy gyms, and there's one in Pittsford you drive by every day on the way home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Some
like
boxing, tilt boxing or something like that.
Title.
Tyler,
And like nothing wrong with that thing, but it's like where like you know women like Kimmy go to be like, yeah, I box. Yeah, and they do like classes, and that's great. Good for you. But like
I'm better than you.
No, it's
No,
not.
he thinks he's Ali in
No.
Miami.
I'm like a real
skipping rope in front of the
boxer.
Beatles.
No, who only went there because Liston wouldn't see him. The point I'm making is this. If I didn't know, I wouldn't go to like an authentic neighborhood gym because I know that immediately as soon as I walked in there, everyone would want to go, right? Like they want to kick the ass of the guy that just walked in. I wouldn't. I went to this like trendy one thinking like, okay, it's just going to be a bunch of like, venture capitalist, Capitol Hill, whatever people that are there to get their classes in. And in walk these two Turks and want to beat the hell out of me.
Kind of like in Turkey all of a sudden.
Okay. We just still know nothing about Turkey.
I want to check it out, man. Maybe I will go to see me some turkey.
Other than they produce the scariest. Because I saw like some of the American Secret Service. Oh, yeah, they look tough. They don't look like these guys.
Oh, like yeah. They didn't have that superhero look.
Now, granted, I didn't see any of the American Secret Service in just tights and a tank top, so maybe that could have changed things.
All right.
Right. If anyone's got any picture of those, feel free to email them to me. We got a Dynamite Take a Beating for America kind of break-up for you this morning here on CMF. Lot happened while we were on vacation, Tom.
What's going on?
What do you mean what's going on? Everything was going on. Well, we missed the 4th of July on the air. But apparently there were lots of explosions going on that had nothing to do with fireworks. In fact.
But usually I think kids do this.
Yeah.
No, I mean, kids do.
Yeah.
That's all I would expect to do this.
Well, usually kids, but we know a guy that didn't do this as a kid.
Really?
Well, but see, here's the thing. Even that loser idiot didn't do what these men were for
point. He didn't go this far.
And if only you would listen to the break room on a regular basis, you would know that this story is not a unique one because we have had an unbelievable amount of grown-ass people arrested for things related to this.
Wow.
And it happened again. And we'll get to the story just after 7 o'clock here in the break room on CMF, plus a whole bunch more. But first, Tommy.
Yeah.
Terrible scene out in Henrietta. Maybe terrible is an overreaction, although it is terrible to the people that own this thing that burst into flames in their driveway.
Oh, my God.
And I would think that every one of their neighbors would feel bad for them, but someone in this room disagrees.
Oh.
We'll get into it next here at the break room on 96.5 WCMF. This story sucks really hard for this poor family.
What happened?
Not only are they out this thing, their house is damaged as well.
Wow.
However, there is someone in this room that is going to argue that there are people they live around who would not feel bad for this family, but actually celebrate what happened.
I'm guessing a minimum of one.
You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF, we are back. We are live just after 6:45 this morning. A national retailer is making a major change to the way you can pay for your groceries.
Really?
That's right. And as much as some people are upset about this, this should be made national law.
So it's like a new way of paying.
No, it's getting rid of an old way of paying.
Oh.
And we'll get to it just after 6:45 here in the break room on CMF. Major issue in the town of Henrietta yesterday.
What went down?
Just after 4 p.m. on Derrick Drive, a camper, massive camper, caught fire in someone's driveway.
Damn, those things are expensive.
Kimmy, did you see the picture of it actually aflame?
I didn't see it on. I saw like the aftermath where it was all burnt up.
This is like one of them big tow behinds.
You got it. Yeah.
Fifth wheel, I think they call it.
Sure.
Damn.
Not only was, and it was big. It's a big camper.
I'm guessing those things burn pretty good, too.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know.
Take that, camper.
Well, I guess we're not going to Yellowstone.
Not only did the camper go up in flames, there was massive damage to the garage and some damage to the home as well.
Oh, so this was parked along the side of the house.
It was parked in the front of the driveway.
Oh, damn, man.
So the good news, no one was in the camper at the time, and the family, all of their pets are safe. So that's good. The bad news, obviously, the camper is lost.
Summer is shot in the ass.
And you see this story, and you obviously feel bad for these people.
Yeah.
But someone in this room says maybe not everyone feels that way.
So, because by the look of the photo I saw, it looks like it's a nice little neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, just typical Henrietta neighborhood.
Yeah, nice,
so I was thinking, like, there has to be at least one dick in that neighborhood who cares about the aesthetic of the neighborhood, who wants everybody to have, like, a nice, pristine front yard that has just been pissed that this person keeps a camper in their front yard. They're junking it up in their front yard by keeping that thing out there.
Is keeping a camper in your driveway junking up the neighborhood?
It's not, but you know, like there are some people that just think that people that keep that stuff in their driveway are junking it up.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
You junking it up.
Where are you supposed to keep it?
You can store it any place you want.
Like your driveway?
No, there's like storage places where you can store your campers and your goddamn jet skis and your runabouts and your dirt bikes.
You serious?
Like all this like stuff on the side of the house. We had one guy in Webster. He literally built a side driveway for his camper.
Yeah.
And just left it out there all year.
People do that all the time.
But that would make sense.
If you're in Arkansas.
Well, he built it on the side.
You're being serious right now.
Yeah, you're junking it up.
The phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. Why would I pay to store something somewhere when I have property that I own that this fits on?
My property. I put my camper on my property.
Yes, I don't know why you're doing the voice.
I want to crap up my property.
That is a perfectly reasonable non-voice take that I own this property and I'm going to keep this camper here.
So there are certain towns you can't have that stuff in your driveway.
No, there isn't.
Yes,
Shut
there
up.
is.
Where? Name one.
I don't think in Pittsburgh
You
can have certain vehicles in your driveway.
My ass.
You can have your ass in your driveway, but no camper. No, I think you can't have any. Because I know like some places you can't have like business vehicles parked in your driveway.
Business vehicle is not a camper. And it
No,
says
but, like,
who? Says who? I own a business. I own the car. Why can't I keep the business vehicle in my driveway?
Because it's separation of camper and state.
Why do you love fascism?
Because
that's what this is. This is camper fascism.
Yeah, but it's not, fascism keeps everything neat.
Holy crap!
Well, it does. I mean, it does have its ups and downs.
Mostly downs, other than the camper aspect of it, apparently. 252 WCMF. Let's talk to Todd. Hey, Todd, how are you, brother?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Yeah, I got to go with you, Duffy, on this one. I got a neighbor down the road has a camp. It's a good-sized one. It's actually nice looking. It's a newer one. I have no problem with it. I don't see the big deal.
Thank you. I don't get this idea like people like Tommy, Todd, who think they own every driveway and yard in the neighborhood.
I can't explain it. I don't know. But actually, when I bought my house, the guy had a boat stored, and one of the neighbor ladies actually was complaining that he had his boat stored on the side.
Wait, you got a boat, and is there two separate neighbors?
Calm down. His house had a boat
Well, yeah.
on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy was like a bass fishing boat. He stored on the side, and she was all complaining that it was next to her fence. I'm like, really? Come on.
Todd, thanks for the call, but I appreciate it. All right.
See, as soon as I see stuff like that, I also know you're home oil change guy. Like you have a hydraulic jack, and you're going to be out there changing your oil in your driveway.
What's wrong with that?
Man, what is this, Valvoline? Go down the street and it takes 10 minutes.
If you want to change your own oil, why can you not change your own oil in the driveway?
You can, but you're going to crap
America.
it up. And you're going to leave it up on the jack. You're going to let it drink. Go ahead, sing
No,
this.
I don't want to sing the song anymore.
Growing up, we had a
America.
Growing up, we had a neighbor who had like a really big fancy camper in their driveway. The other neighbor complained that it blocked their view.
It does.
What?
I
Of
don't
what?
know. Well, they said that their kids couldn't see when the bus was coming.
I mean, it's like you're living in a truck stop.
You guys are such dicks. Like massive dicks.
I like things nice. Can't you just have nice?
These campers cost tens of thousands of dollars. Some cost more than homes.
I
mean, this was a
understand, yeah.
nice looking camper. Again, a story that happened yesterday in Henrietta. A big old camper burst into flames around 4 p.m. on Derrick Drive. Why? It's not funny. These poor people lost their camper, their garage had damage, their home had damage. Kimmy is here with the take that there are people in the neighborhood who were not sad that happened. Turns out Tommy is one of those people.
Yes.
You would have hated my father. Are you ready for this?
Yes, he would.
At one point in my childhood,
Yes.
on the side of the house, there was a boat that did not work on a trailer with 2 flat tires. In front of that, there was a non-running 88 Mazda RX-7.
That's the sports car, right?
Yep, little gold sports car.
His big self got in that thing?
big self.
Yes, he did. Next to that was one of the busted-ass campers that he bought used.
So none of these three things did not basically work.
The camper moved most of the time.
Yeah.
The Mazda RX-7 did not. The boat did not. Oh, there was also a broken-down snowmobile in the garage. And my dad would also use the grass unpaved as a parking spot for one of the cars in the neighborhood because he had the camper in the driveway.
That's like the deep south.
We own it. I own that house. You're going to tell me what to do with my house.
No, but I think the city at some point, like, you got to maintain
the city
your
of
place.
Henrietta?
Yes.
All right, so let's go down the list there. What is and isn't trashy to have in a neighborhood driveway? Because you're already on record as saying camper is trash.
All your sporting vehicles need to be put away.
Boat and jet ski are trashy.
Yeah.
Motorcycle.
Yeah. By the way, you leaving your sled out, man, it's going to get ruined.
Look at him trying to sound cool. Hey, man, you leaving your sled out? Guy, I rode bitch a bunch of times in the back of a sled. I was a sled bitch. Check out my sled bitch.
To your point, though, I don't think I've ever seen like a motorcycle left out that was like the homeowners.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, your chrome's going to get pitted. Just saying.
Four-wheeler?
The worst.
What does he mean the worst?
Four-wheeler is like the worst invention ever.
Why?
Because they're dangerous.
They save lives, man. If you get
they
lost
also,
on a trail.
but they save lives from other guys that fell off of four-wheelers.
Box trailer?
What's a box trailer?
It's
a
the
work
big,
truck?
What's that? No, box trailer is like the big, like, the
tow
big
behind thing.
Yeah, tow behind thing.
like this thing.
You put four-wheelers and jet skis. No, not like this.
Oh,
thing.
you're
This
talking
is a
about
camper.
the trailer your crap in.
Yes.
Yeah.
A holder for your crap.
Yes, all that stuff. I mean, it looks like a used car lot. You should have that guy in the ad with the dog walking around trying to sell your stuff.
How many cars should one home have in the driveway before it's too much?
2.
So I got.
Anytime I see these families where they have like 5 cars in the driveway, give me a break, man.
All right, so if I have.
It's a drive-in theater.
So let's say I have a 17-year-old kid. They bust their ass to buy a used car.
Good for him.
Okay, so.
What?
Well, I have daughters. I said, let's say I.
Her too. Hey, girls are coming up. I'm seeing them all over TV now. They're playing basketball, having a great time. What?
So I have my car. My wife has her car, and my daughter has her car she bought with her own money. What do I do with the third car?
So that would be fine if the other 2 cars are in the garage and the third car is out. But I know y'all.
No, I don't use
because you don't use that garage as a garage.
No.
It's a hockey storage unit for the Sabres. So now you've got all 3 cars out.
Yeah, they're going to be in the driveway that I own.
You're not there, but you're getting close. It's too much.
Where's there? What's there?
Yeah, what do you
4
mean
cars
by
too
there?
much.
Wait, 4 cars.
So four
cars in the driveway?
I got 2 daughters. I could have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, me and my
Yeah,
wife all living at my house. So what do I do with the other 2 cars?
You people are a problem.
What do you mean,
You people are a problem.
What do I do with the other cars if I can't park
Clean
in my
your
driveway?
garage.
Shut up.
Wait, you have a problem with too many cars in the driveway?
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever heard.
Because I always think, because like sometimes in my neighborhood, I go, they throwing a party? What the hell's going on?
But who cares if they are? I mean, but the driveway's made for cars. The driveway is meant to put your cars on.
No, a driveway is you drive into the garage and you close the garage. I also hate people that leave their garages open all the time.
Oh my God, why? Why would I close my garage?
Weird.
I like, at night, I like things buttoned up.
Everybody close your garages after 9.
We got a neighbor, man. They never close their garage, ever. It's dead of winter.
But your nosy ass loves to look inside that garage.
Oh, I know.
It's kind of like, I mean, it's entertainment for you.
It is, but it's pissing me off entertainment.
No, you came here the 2 weeks ago when you had to drive to my house. You broke down every piece of thing in my garage. You went to break down what was inside my garage. Your garage right where? Garage is never.
I've never seen a dog disappear before my eyes.
By the way, I also love too. I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every like weekends. Yeah. I'll open my garage and it stays open until we go to bed at like 11.
You gotta get everything living in there.
We do. We have doves living in our garage right now.
You have doves?
Yep.
What are you, Prince?
And like I think they know they're safe because they keep coming back and building a nest in the same place.
Wait, so you have nesting
doves
that live in your garage?
Yeah, yes. And like they all get along with the dogs too. Like the dogs know they're supposed to be there now. Like it's all like one weird relationship. My basset hound just lets the doves walk by.
That would bother me.
It's cute. You know, I mean, it's not nice to have doves. Doves are like a peaceful thing.
Yeah, but I don't want them in my garage. I don't mind. I like wildlife outside. They can do whatever they want out there.
Those birds.
Y'all got all that. It's all y'all's.
252 WCMF. We'll take one more call as Tommy is trying to tell everybody what they're allowed and not allowed to have on their property. Mark's got the last word on CMF. Hey, Mark, how are you, buddy?
Good. How you doing, Guff?
Good.
I can already tell this guy's a slob.
Oh, man. I got to agree with Tommy on this one, unfortunately, but there isn't a government on the east side that does not regulate what you can and cannot have in your driveway. I went through this with a buddy of mine. He bought a $70,000 camper, had to build a side driveway and put a door in front of it so you couldn't see it from the road.
A driveway door. Look at him laugh like he's a bully in an 80s movie. Dork thinks she's going to drown.
I'm telling you, man, they regulate everything you can have in your driveway. It's just like HOA in Florida. HOAs, you cannot have a single thing in your driveway.
I mean, I don't understand why you would want to live in a place that controls what you can and can't have on your property.
Because it maintains the value of your property.
Oh, yeah, right now. That's really hard
seems
for
like
people.
a problem.
Yeah, oh, no, that's tough. What's going to happen? Mark,
I'm telling you, the market's going to drop out.
Mark, thanks for the call, buddy. I appreciate it.
You have to hide your stuff behind a door, essentially.
Yes.
A driveway door, you idiot.
I like it.
Let's take a break.
All right.
I mean, this is definitely a change. It'll be the first time in maybe over a century.
So how we paying?
Yes, because this store says they're no longer taking these. And there are people that are upset. However, if you want to talk about making regulations and laws over everybody on the planet, this should be a law. Nationally.
So you're for it.
Internationally, intergalactically, because when you get stuck behind one of these people when you're grocery shopping, we'll get into it next in the break room on CMF. It's the end of an era at one major American retailer.
Well, what's happening?
And really, what this company is doing, Tommy, should be mandated nationwide at every single store.
Okay.
Not for the reason this store is doing it, but to make sure we as a society don't get stuck behind these folks when we're just trying to get in and get out.
Okay.
You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF, we are back. We are live. We missed you all so much. Just after 7 o'clock this morning, we missed the 4th of July being on break.
Yeah.
And there were lots of explosions going on across the greater Rochester area.
People having fun.
Yep. However, these two men are in some serious trouble for non-sanctioned explosions.
Grown-ass men.
Yes. And, you're shocked by this story, but if you would listen to the actual radio show you're on, you would know over the last couple of years, we've seen a ton of this.
Firecracking jackassing.
It's not firecrackers.
Oh.
We'll get into it just after 7 o'clock here in the break room on CMF. Starting 1 week from today, Target has announced it will no longer accept personal checks to pay for any items in the store.
I kind of thought personal check writers were dying off like World War II veterans. We should be down to the last check at some point.
Fun fact, the Federal Reserve, which I stood in front of this week.
No way.
Says Americans wrote 12 billion checks in 2022.
To who?
Do people do it for businesses and stuff or no?
Do those count?
Yeah, because I have seen that.
Okay.
No, you said personal check.
No, I just said checks.
Oh. Target won't take personal check. All right. I got you. I forgot.
No, it's hard. No, I get it. It's tough for you to look me directly in the face while we have a conversation and comprehend the words.
It was a lot of checks. And I grew up writing checks.
What is that?
I come from Checkland.
I was a check writing generation.
Kimmy.
Yeah.
The Fed says Americans wrote 12 billion checks in 2022, and that sounds like a lot of checks.
Yeah.
Until you find out that in 2015 they wrote 20 billion, so it's almost been cut in half in a matter of 7 years.
All right, so it is coming down.
You got it. But it's not just that no one is using them, which is the argument that Target is making as to why they're cutting them out. Right? They're saying nobody's using them anymore. It's pointless to keep accepting them. Experts also say that retail stores are getting hit with identity theft bad, and bad check issues are one of the reasons.
Oh, okay.
Right? So for whatever reason, whether Target wants to say it or not, it's done next week. You cannot pay with a personal check at Target anymore. And this is a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Good.
Yes.
Thoughts, Kimmy?
I mean, I can't imagine. I feel like it doesn't affect that many people because that most of that number has to be. If you write a check for one thing, you're writing a check for everything you purchase, right?
You think so?
Are there is the number small of people that actually use checks? They're just really upping the numbers total because they're using it for everything.
Well, even if the number of people who use checks are small, traditionally they're the people that complain the loudest and the most. Older people.
True.
Older women specifically.
Yeah. And what I love is when you watch them write a check, and then they put the balance in their ledger.
Oh my God! You're gonna balance your checkbook while we're standing here.
Yeah, why don't you do your taxes too while we're in line?
I also don't think it's gonna prevent. If you love Target, if you love shopping at Target, and they stop taking your checks, are you gonna stop shopping at Target?
There are gonna be people that don't. They will.
I don't know.
Kimmy,
I think the Target addiction is real. Bitches love Target.
That's a T-shirt.
I don't think you're going to prevent those women, those little old ladies from shopping at Target. They're going to be forced to pay a different way, whether it's cash or however else they want to do it.
The phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. Is there a legitimate reason that people still pay with checks at the store?
You're just old school. You're a flip phone. You have actual change that you use on a regular basis for your smaller purchases. You're living like it's 1972.
Okay, look, you could be right. There could also be something that we're not thinking of or that we don't know why people would prefer to pay with a check than they would a card.
I don't trust the electronic system of banking.
Well, that's what's funny because that is the argument that people will make, right? This is the safer way to do it. But it seems to me that writing a personal check to pay for your groceries is the least safe way to pay for something.
Yeah, here's all my information in print.
Literally, it's got your name,
your
it's got
address,
your banking numbers.
Yes, your routing numbers
Yes.
on the effing check. And look, I mean, unfortunately, we have seen a bunch of stories the last couple of months in Rochester of people going into mailboxes, washing or clearing out the check, and then filling it out with new information. And these banks are getting got all over the place because folks have figured out how to do this.
It looks legit.
Exactly. So I would be terrified to hand over a personal check to just some employee at a Target or a Wegmans or a whatever.
So it's like when I talk to my brother, right? And he makes it a point, he tells me, because he'll ask me about nieces and nephews in the family, and I say, well, I saw so-and-so on Facebook. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm not on any of that stuff at all. You know, my wife is. So he just goes and looks on his wife's Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, you're still on it, man. You haven't, you're not off the grid there, Robinson Crusoe. You're with the rest of us. You're just looking over your wife's shoulder.
I do find it funny, though, like your brother, right? Like, his fear.
Like they're going to get him, man.
Exactly. But, let's say they got all your information. What do you got, man?
Nothing.
Like, Facebook isn't going to steal all your money.
No.
What are you hiding from the government?
He's still got the flip phone. He's just locked in.
Because here's the thing, I would respect your brother, and guys like your brother, guys that have the flip phone and keep writing the checks and stay off of Facebook and all that stuff, if they would just be honest and say, it confuses me and I don't get it.
Yes.
Like that I understand. I understand that you want to keep the old technology because it's what you are accustomed to. Fine, I can respect that. It's this argument that it's for another reason that makes you look like an idiot.
I don't want that in my pocket. It could give you testicular cancer.
252-WCMF, 252-9263. Again, Target announces that at the end of this week, starting on exactly a week from today, they will no longer accept personal checks to pay for groceries. Are there places you can only pay with check now?
No, it can't be.
Well, then why
doesn't take a cash-only business?
I'm saying a check-only business.
Because even bills that you pay, a lot of, because the only time I ever paid with a check was usually for rent or something like that. And a lot of those landlords and things have even transitioned to online payment portals, essentially.
So then why do checks exist? There have to be some businesses that will only take a check.
But
check or money order.
But you think you would be losing so much money as a business if you were only taking old school payments, considering even those little mom and pop places you laugh that I go to, they're all electronic. No. They're all Apple Pay. Even though he got into the 20.
The cobbler does not have Apple Pay.
Yes, he does. And he just got it.
Why you lie? He's never used that one time. A man who fixes shoes accepts Apple Pay? Is that when you bring a bag of apples in exchange for the work that he does on your shoe?
This is a bartering system for my boots.
An apple cobbler, if you will. No, I mean, aren't there some garbage bills or things like that, old school ways of business that only take checks?
I mean, I guess, but I can't imagine. It's got to be such a pain in the. It's more work to stay in the past.
Unless it's all about keeping track of. If I pay you in cash or credit card, maybe it's hard. I don't know. Kimmy, can you Google if there's any businesses that only accept check? Thank you.
I remember there used to be a couple of mom and pop restaurants that were a cash only joints, diners.
Cash, I get.
But that was 30 years ago.
There are still some cash-only places here in town.
There are?
Yeah.
Very few.
But they'll let you know up front, and they have their ATM there that has the $7 ATM
yeah.
fee. 252-WCMF, while Kimmy's doing her research, let's talk to Mary. Hey, Mary, how are you?
Good morning.
Hey.
When my mother downsized her house, she had a box in the attic with every single check she ever wrote in chronological order in a box. And it was incredible. It was always the same bank, but the bank changed names about 14 times over the years. And it cost, we looked it up because they were in chronological order, $120 for a week's stay when I was born.
Oh, at the hospital?
$120. Yeah.
Oh, this is old school ass Mary.
Well, yeah. What Mary?
She goes mom and pop gynecologist. She's just a mouse on a string.
Mom and pop schmear?
My point is this, that whenever I have checks, I think I've used two, and both of them were for my son's school.
Okay.
You have to write checks to the school to put money into their accounts and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have a whole, 1,000 checks or whatever, and I've used maybe 2 or 3.
Well, that's the other funny part about it, in using checks.
But I think the water company still makes you pay by check.
So you have to pay. Tommy's making a face. You don't pay the water bill, do you?
No, my wife does.
I don't.
Mary, thanks for the call.
My house is leaning from water. Yes, oh dear.
Bye, Mary.
Bye, darling.
There goes Mary.
Yeah, I think even that bill you can pay online.
Yeah, I would think any utility you pay online.
Yeah.
No, I always
So you can. I know some of them they'll charge you more if you use a credit card or something. So maybe there are people that still pay for pay through the mail with a check just to avoid that fee.
You don't want to pay the $2. No, it is funny, right? Like in using the check to pay for your personal groceries. Again, we're talking about how Target announces as of a week from today, they will no longer accept personal checks to pay for their merchandise. You have to pay for the actual checks.
Yes, you buy them from the bank.
Exactly. I can get as many debit cards as I want if I lose them, right? Like, I have to keep giving you money, and it's so inconvenient because let's say I lose my checkbook. Not only do I have to cancel all of those checks, right? I have to wait around for more checks to show up for me to be able to pay for things.
It's more work.
I don't get it. And this should be international law. And I'm just waiting for Wegmans and Tops.
It's gonna become obsolete.
I don't know. I feel like Target can pull this off because Target's demographic skews
younger.
It's
young hipsters.
Yeah, like Kimmy said, bitches love Target, right? But like old ladies go to Wegmans, old ladies go to Tops, old ladies love Walmart.
But even when I see the old fart bus pull up at Wegmans,
I'd be careful because you're gonna be on that bus soon, and they're gonna hear what you said.
But even I don't even see most of them writing checks anymore.
No?
No. I mean, they all have phones. They're all connected. I mean, they are like rich old people.
I don't know. I mean, just because they have a phone doesn't mean they're using Apple Pay.
But I don't see the checks coming out.
Okay, all right. Well, that's insane because I seem to get caught behind the only people that ever use checks.
I do see some. I don't know. You do see some.
No,
but not a lot.
I think it's more than you think because I will say this. In the last 6 months, and you know I don't go to Wegmans all that often, I've been caught behind 3 check writers.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Maybe you live in like Czech country.
Czechoslovakia. The Czech Republic. No, I don't know. Does Henrietta have a lot of check writers?
Well, do you have a lot of old people?
I mean, I don't think we have more than
I always said Henrietta was like young people.
I don't, what do you want from me? I don't know. I don't know what the demographic of.
Well, it could be some old, the ones that have been living in that same house for like 40 years.
It's not that long.
All right.
252 WCMF. Let's take one more call. Jimmy's got the last word. Hey, Jimmy, how are you, buddy?
Hey, how you guys doing? Listen, I'll tell you something. I pay my utility bills with a check. I don't use it at like, Wegmans or whatever, but I'll tell you something. I don't have a debit card. They wanted to give me one. I didn't want it. And, I
use pause. Time out, Jimmy. Time out. Why didn't you want a debit card?
For what? Then you got to make sure you mark it in and everything and balance everything. No, I use cash as much as I can. I don't have any credit card debt. I mean, to me, I look at these people that want to pay everything online and use credit card, and then when there's a breach in the system or they, somebody gets into, there's been studies done on it, they use a credit card so much they don't even know what they got, and people are getting into their accounts. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's easier to use check or cash.
So without a debit card, then do you have to go to the bank every time you need cash instead of just an ATM?
Yeah, it says a line for Jimmy. There's a Jimmy line.
Listen, I don't have an ATM card either. I budget out my money. I have just so much cash. I know what I need to spend. I mean, when I look at these people, credit card debt is an all-time high. I forgot how much it was. It was on the news a couple of weeks ago. They were talking about how much debt the country's in. To me, I'd rather use cash or whatever. To me, I look at these people that, every time I turn around, I watch them take out plastic. I found a wallet it was about a month ago. I handed it into the post office. It was funny. I opened it up. It must have had 20 pieces of plastic in it. Banks I didn't recognize. It only had $5 in it. This cheapskate bastard's got $5, but he's got banks I never heard of and all kinds of ID and everything.
Jimmy,
wow.
Jimmy, he sounds cooler than you, and I love you, but the way you're describing it, really trying to insult, he sounds way cooler than you.
It sounds like everybody's wallet.
Sounds like James Bond. He got banks I never even heard of before. Jimmy, I'm glad. We thought something happened to you, buddy. We hadn't heard from you in so long. We're glad to hear from you again.
Yeah, it's good to hear you guys, too. I've been busy.
Doing what? Going to the bank, standing in line?
He's been in line the whole time.
I got to go make my deposits.
They all know me. Nobody will ever get my identity because they know me at the bank.
So when you get gas, do you go inside and pay with cash?
Yeah, yes, I make some cash on the side, so I always have cash on me. But if I have to go to the bank, I'll get it out.
So when you get gas at the pump, you go inside and pay for your gas with cash.
I go to BJ's in Henrietta. Grease and BJ's will take cash. Victor and Webster BJ's don't. But anyway, I live in Henrietta. I pay cash, and it's a pain. It's tough when the guy's out getting garbage. You're waiting for him to come back to give him cash. But you know something? I have no other debt. My mortgage is low. It comes out
Jimmy, we got it.
automatically.
You're awesome.
I'm Jimmy. I'm so great. I'm solving Jimmy.
No, I mean, but it's. I saw one of my friend's credit card statement. It was like 3 pages once. I said, "Holy shit, what are you buying?"
Oh, Jimmy, you're cursing about credit cards. I got to let you go. Thanks for the call. Good to talk to you. There goes Jimmy.
Is he snooping in on his friend's finances?
Yes. That's multiple times he's stolen identity.
I also love you got to play. You pay for cash. You pay for gas with cash. You got to play Prices Right every time you fill
Yeah, because you got to go in and tell them.
Right up to the penny.
$30 on pump 4.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break. These two dudes are in serious trouble, and they should be.
Yes.
Because, first of all, this is obviously illegal.
Right.
Second of all,
The video is hilarious.
I didn't see the video.
Oh, the video is
You didn't see the
hysterical.
There's a
video?
video?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Kimmy, you got to break it down. We're going to do it next here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Explosions in the 4th of July go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's natural.
Unfortunately, for these gentlemen, not in this way.
What happened?
And while we were gone for the 4th of July, something went down on the west side. Something that over the last 5 years, Tommy, we've been seeing an alarming amount in the greater Rochester area.
West Side jackassing.
It ain't just west side, bro.
All right.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester's Classic Rock, 96.5 WCMF. We are back. We are live. So good to talk to you guys again. I was talking to the audience, not you.
Yeah, me too.
Just after 7:25, 7:30, whenever Pittsford comes up, Kimmy, Tommy loves to stand up and go, look, Pittsford is not what you make it sound like. It's a regular town.
Well, y'all stereotype.
Regular people.
I don't do that.
I am not the only person that saw this. You see what I put up on my Instagram last week?
No, maybe I missed it.
No, because there's lots of towns that would have this out in a parking lot.
Really?
I'll explain everything just after 7:30 here in the break room on CMF. This story comes to us from Greece. And it happened 2 weeks ago, but we just learned about it over the weekend. Police have arrested 2 men after they say they set off homemade explosive devices on Linda Lane.
Yes.
Sounds very nice. Mm-hmm. Authorities first arrested a 37-year-old man after police say he dropped an explosive device down a sewer grate around 8 p.m. on June 22nd. They say it cracked the concrete in the basin and caused over $6,000 in damage. Did I see $6,000?
Yeah.
Kimmy, you said there's a video of this.
Yes, there is.
So Tommy saw it too, but I don't know if this is their video that somebody took of them, or if this is like a neighbor that took the video.
But it's broad daylight.
But you see them like running out into the road, setting like the explosive up and sprinting back as the cat litter explodes.
Yeah.
Okay. So to the cat litter point, police then arrested a 32-year-old man from Brockport. He's accused of possessing an explosive device affixed to a cat litter container around the same time at the same day. Both of these men, 37 and 32, have an upcoming court date. So right off the bat, couple of questions that maybe folks listening can answer us. And the phone number is 252-WCMF. First question, why?
Yes, a grown-ass man wants to blow up a sewer drain.
Yeah, these aren't kids, man.
Right.
Yeah.
These are 2 grown-ass men allegedly making explosive devices. Is there something we're missing here that's common knowledge to other people listening, not to us?
Like normal behavior.
Yeah. Because it's not normal behavior.
No.
Right? Like, best case scenario, these are guys that are just messing around and doing this for fun.
But they don't look like, they look like guys that would have jobs, families, responsibilities, like a place to be in the morning.
Okay, all right.
They look like those type of people.
Okay.
Not like some Unabomber.
Well, that kind of brings us like to this other thing. Because look, it would be super weird that a grown-ass person wants to blow stuff up.
But you also made your own device.
Right.
On
This
top
wasn't
of that.
a purchase. This was your own homemade concoction.
Like you spent time building a bomb to destroy a sewer pipe.
And that's where this
because you hate sewers.
But that's where this gets scary, Tommy, because there is a logical explanation if you want to talk about it. It could be something more sinister. And look, to be fair to these guys, before we go down this road, there's nothing in the story that suggests this is something sinister. However, there have been a bunch of stories over the last few years in the greater Rochester area of grown-ass men making explosives for not great reasons. I say men, it's actually people, because there was that incident involving the FBI down on St. Paul from a couple of weeks ago.
Was that the mailbox?
No, this is one we still don't have a lot of details about. The FBI raided his apartment.
Okay.
There was the mailbox. That was an issue in an apartment building on South Ave where one neighbor allegedly used a homemade explosive device to blow up another neighbor's mailbox during a dispute. That was a woman, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
I could be wrong. I think it was a woman.
But when I moved to town, there was a massive one going around that was 2 guys that were targeting people when I first moved here.
And you got all excited because one of your coworkers lived in the...
Yes, in the building, and it was on American Bombers on A&E.
Well, get out of here!
It was the first episode.
It was the closest Tommy ever got to a TV credit. There was also that story from a couple summers ago where that man was chucking bombs that were blowing holes in yards. Was it the Winton neighborhood?
And they couldn't figure out who was doing it, right?
Well, they couldn't figure out who was doing it, even though he left letters for neighbors explaining why he was doing it, saying the guy whose yard he was blowing up owed him money or something like that. And by the way, there have been a bunch more. Those are just the ones that we can remember off the top of our head.
We are Bomb Town.
Are there more people making explosions at home than we thought?
Obviously there is.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Because, like, even if it's just for funsies, it's still not great. Because, right? Like, I mean, you don't know.
Blow up your house.
You're not a bomb expert.
Yeah.
And even if it's just for fun, like, just go buy some fireworks or something.
Well, that's when I saw this guy. It looked like he was just having a ball doing it.
Right. It looked like it was a for fun kind of thing.
Right. And I'm going, this is the sewer guy. And I'm going, to your point, why don't you just...
Right. You didn't have to make them yourself.
Yes. Pennsylvania's got all you could want.
All right, the phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. Again, with these two men in their 30s facing charges for building explosives after an incident out in Greece. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
252-WCMF, 252-9263. Tommy, if you found out your neighbor was making explosives in the garage for fun, would you tell somebody?
Yeah. That I don't want to deal with.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because you are notoriously Mr. I don't want to get involved.
Yeah, until you start blowing things up.
Okay. See, I just find it strange that the time you're willing to step in, after all the things you've said on the air over all the years, is when the person has explosives that they're making right next door to you.
I'm very anti-shrapnel.
I agree with you. Look, I'm with you. However, if that person gets arrested, they're going to sleep in their own bed that night.
No, the FBI is going to take care of it.
No. They're just building. These guys have a court date.
No, I think they get locked up.
No.
They go to bomb court.
I don't think really. Freeze, bomb court. What if he finds out it was you?
He's not.
How do you know?
It's an anonymous tip.
Yeah, is it?
It's called Bomb Stoppers.
You don't think you're...
I used to call a bunch of comedy out constantly. Yeah, he's on stage right now. Get the FBI out here.
I love how you think you can anonymously make a call. Like they wouldn't see the glare off that giant forehead through the window as you're pulling back the curtains.
Bombs... This is going to sound stupid.
Yeah.
Bombs scare the crap out of me.
They should scare the crap out of you. But I'm saying, I just find it weird with the takes that you had over all the years of not wanting to get involved and not wanting repercussion. This would be the one I would legitimately be concerned about, the person wanting revenge.
So I shouldn't have.
No, I'm not saying that. I think you should. I just find it's weird that you think you should.
Well, because based on me being a coward.
Yes, yeah.
Yes.
And a known hider.
Yes. I just feel like, man, I don't want to see, the damage a bomb could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a gunshot is like, it's a little personal. Like, bomb goes all over.
By the way, gunshot could also end up in the wrong spot.
Oh, I understand. But, like, the carnage of a bomb really bothers me.
252-WCMF. Kimmy, if you found out your neighbor was making explosives in their garage, would you call the cops?
Yeah. Because now what you're doing can also blow up. I don't know how big of an operation you're running, but I don't want my house on fire because of it.
No, I mean, those are both reasonable takes. But again, you are also someone who's like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want somebody coming after me.
Yeah, I know, but now it's starting to affect me.
Yes.
You know?
It's the most selfish tricks I've ever met.
What if it hits the gas line? The whole neighborhood goes up.
I agree with you. Right. I mean, look, to your point, there was another story, now that I'm remembering, from a couple summers ago. Remember the man that blew up his garage making homemade fireworks?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And in that story, police said he had sold the homemade fireworks he was making to other people in the community, and authorities had to go around and try and find the ones that he had sold.
Which is almost crazier than making the fireworks, is buying them from somebody who makes their own fireworks.
They always say buy local.
But, like, what kind of background would that person have to have where you trust them to make a
military? But even then, I wouldn't trust it.
Because, like, military, it's designed to destroy things.
Yeah, like countries.
252-WCMF. We got Facebook messages coming in. You can always get us at WCMF for the Break Room Facebook page. Coral writes us on Facebook. This story is a nothing burger. Long time since we heard one of those.
Nothing burger.
Nothing burger. It isn't illegal to make explosives in your garage thanks to the Second Amendment. And even if it is, they should only be charged for damaging property. It's definitely illegal to make explosives in your garage.
Right.
And also, I don't trust your take that it isn't illegal because you follow that up with even if it is illegal. Okay, let's pause, though. Let's pause. Let's go down this fantasy world that Carl lives in where it's not illegal to make explosives. Why would it not be illegal to make your own explosives? Who wants it to be legal to make your own explosives?
Because there's no reason to make an explosive.
No.
Because you can't defend your house that way. Like if a burglar breaks in,
blow a
own house.
Well,
I'm taking you with me.
Can farmers do this? Make your own explosives?
Well, what do they need it for?
Like clearing land or like blowing holes and stuff?
I would think you seek professionals for that.
Well, no,
or have to have some kind of.
I would think you had to be licensed to handle dynamite, right?
Well, I know, but that's not making it. That's an actual explosive.
Yeah.
That is an explosive.
All right. But you're saying farmers would need to blow stuff up?
Yeah, no, farmers got to blow stuff up all the time.
Is that how they get rid of the old cows?
Like you wouldn't watch that.
No.
I don't know. Well, maybe.
Top secret? Is that when the cow exploded? I can't remember. No, but I just find it funny. Like Carl is fighting for the ability for Americans to design and manufacture their own explosives.
Own bombs.
What reason could you give where tearing up the law against making your own bomb would be a good thing for America? Because as far as I'm concerned, it's only bad.
Yeah.
There's only bad things that happen from make your own bombs, build a bomb.
Yes.
Dan writes us on Facebook. Dan says, this kind of thing happens all the time out in the country. It's a lot of fun to see what you can make and what you can blow up. You just have to make sure you and your friends are safe about what you know and what you're doing. Okay.
It's fun to blow things up in the country.
He's not wrong. That's the one reason fireworks exist, is to blow things up.
Yeah.
But like, at what point are you just like, all right, I'm bored with this now? Ever? Like, don't you get to a point where it's just like, it's kind of boring?
Look, I don't have that in me, so I'm the wrong person to ask. But, I mean...
Yeah, you'd have to ask a couple of actual men. I ain't got no blowing up in me.
Like, if it's not doing it, if there's no purpose to it, how many times can you watch a bomb go off?
I mean, you're grown-ass people. Okay. You're not kids doing this. Right.
Look, I'm on your side here. But, like, of all the people that say you're grown-ass people...
I think I'm perfect.
You were a 34-year-old man who was shooting Roman candles at his buddies while drunk in cut-off jean shorts that were damp because that day you had made an unplanned trip to a water park.
But we were drinking, bro. We were drinking all day. And we were Southern drinking. Southern drinking gonna lose that hand.
252 WCMF. A man who I'm sure knows a thing about blowing things up.
Yeah.
Let's talk to Ben. Hey, Ben, how you been, buddy?
What's up, guys? Actually, I had an awesome time when you guys were on. And for the Carrie Ann and Alicia, they're the best. But anyways, so shout out to the kiosk crew. Anyway, so what I was calling about is the explosives and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When I lived out in Canandaigua, we had a buddy that every right around Halloween or just after Halloween, we'd have a pumpkin blast, and they would take tannerite and they'd stuff it in some of the pumpkins, and then we'd take, everybody would gather up with all their guns and everything, and then we'd blast the pumpkins and, try to hit the tannerite and blow up the pumpkins, and it was the best. So, yeah.
So none of you had girlfriends? Because this is why you need a girlfriend. Say, don't do that.
No, the ex-wife was fully involved in this, and she loved it just as much as I did.
Ben, I love you.
But you were married?
I think your sentence, you just... No, married while this was happening.
Where have you been?
No, Ben, but you're not married anymore. So the statement that my ex-wife loved watching pumpkins explode that I was shooting with a gun maybe isn't the sentence you think it is to prove your point, Ben.
I don't. It is what it is. It was a blast. Right. No pun intended.
All right. Well, Ben, thank you for the call. All right. He used a gun to shoot an explosive that was inside a pumpkin. So maybe it is.
With my wife.
Maybe it is a country thing, like Dan said.
That's like a couple's retreat.
It is funny, though. Like I'll read you Dan's Facebook message one more time, talking about building your own explosives with these two guys, one from Greece, one from Brockport, arrested after an incident that happened like 2 weeks ago. Again, quote, this kind of thing happens all the time out in the country. It's a lot of fun to see what you can make and what you can blow up. You just have to make sure you and your friends are safe and know about what you're doing. You know how you know you're safe?
How's that?
You don't blow up.
Okay.
You know how you know you're not safe? You blow up. You know what the line there is?
Yeah, what's that?
I don't either. Because one day you just blow up if you're not safe. You can't be sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't know how this is going to go.
Exactly. Like, unless you're like a munitions expert and even then, you don't have like the stuff you had around you.
No, you don't.
Okay. So stop.
Stop blowing things up.
Good call. All right. Let's take a break. You never again can defend the town in which you live.
Why? What happened?
Every time we bring up Pittsford and talk about how arrogant and obnoxious and expensive and all that stuff is, you step in, you go, no, it's just a regular town.
It's regular Joe.
Regular place. There are people with money. There are people without money. There's good. There's bad.
It's a town of haves and haves mores.
What was happening in the Plaza parking lot?
The Pittsburgh Plaza?
Mm-hmm. That's the one with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yeah. It's your top plaza. Okay.
Like, we've seen a lot of, like I said, obnoxious, arrogant things.
So they were selling something?
Wasn't what they were selling.
Oh.
It's what they were doing. And I'm sure they were doing it for money. But
yeah,
in no other town will you see this happen in the greater Rochester area.
Oh.
And we'll get into it next here in the break room on Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5 WCMF. But first, We make a lot of jokes about the East Side here in the break room.
Yeah, y'all tear it up, and it's really cruel.
Most of those jokes are directed squarely at Pittsford. Every time we crack a joke about how high-end, obnoxious, arrogant, snooty, for snooty's sake, Pittsford is, Tommy jumps in, and he says, listen, it's just like any other town. There's the haves, the have-nots, there's rich people, there's poor people. It's every other suburban
There is
Rochester.
Pittsford Poe.
No one will be able to make that argument anymore after this.
So what'd you say?
You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF. We are back. We are live just after 7:45. There were 3 girls that went missing for a little while over the weekend.
Jesus.
They're safe. Everyone's good. But it's got Kimmy wondering how common this is.
I'd never heard of this activity here before.
Like a little kid?
No, they look like they were like people.
Yeah, I thought they were. I don't know. I assume they were adults.
I assume they were like teenagers. I could be. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it had an age in the story. It doesn't say. But we'll get to it just after 7:45 here in the break room on CMF. Have you guys seen the Pittsford violin player?
No.
I know I'm not the only one. Because exactly 1 week ago, my youngest, she had dance, and we ended up grabbing dinner in the Pittsford Plaza over there. And in the parking lot, outside of the TJ Maxx, there was a man playing a violin for tips.
Oh, really?
Plugged into a speaker, his violin. It was like electric, I guess. I
like
don't know.
Stuff you'd see like Toronto on the street.
You got it. He is standing in the parking lot of the plaza in front of the TJ Maxx. I swear to God, there was a video. There's a video up on my Twitter. I put it up on my Instagram page as well. He is playing the violin for people, serenading people, walking out of TJ Maxx with a violin. You can't even discount shop without snooty culture in Pittsford. 252 WCMF. I know I'm not the only one who's seen this man. Have you seen him before?
No. But I would say outdoor violin is about the douchiest instrument there is.
Thank you.
So is this guy playing for tips? Like, was he a hired violinist?
I'm assuming. So he was a distance away. I'm assuming he was playing for tips.
Okay.
I'm assuming.
I didn't know if the businesses had him out there or if he just chose to like come out and play.
No, because he was standing next to like a handicap spot. In the parking lot.
So once in a while, when you walk the canal, when you get around Shone Place, the heart of the douche zone, occasionally,
way to the douche zone,
you'll see somebody singing, standing there with like a battery operated like PA system and a mic stand. Singing. Like they're usually younger, but they're not like just singing to sing.
That's kind of lame.
Okay, before I make a statement.
Entertain me with an instrument at least.
Hold on. Is it a child?
No, I'm talking like a grown person. No, not like a little kid being cute.
I don't want to be what a douchey 8-year-old.
I would say this guy is probably 25 to 30 years old. And I've seen a couple different, but this one guy in particular, I've seen him multiple summers out there. Just singing by himself.
Yeah, like I would think like you'd also play an instrument of some sort.
No,
I've never seen like I guess I have seen it, but to just stand there and sing, you got to be pretty good to impress people.
I mean, I can. What's that?
Is he a good singer?
It's hard to tell. It's not horrible, but it's so embarrassing and dickish because you're kind of like disrupting everybody's afternoon.
Oh my
well, because you got a speaker system,
right?
Too.
Like if I wanted to sit there and read a book or just have a conversation on a bench.
I'm sorry, you want to choose something else? You got to learn how to read first, stupid.
Well, I can't learn if he shut up.
I can't learn if you shut up.
Yes.
You sound like that Turkish guy that wanted to fight me.
No, but it's like it's disruptive.
Okay. So you can't defend this. You can't defend singer. You can't defend violin player. So explain to me then how Pittsford is like every other town in Rochester.
Well, violin.
That.
I mean, if it was like a regular, like a West Side instrument.
What's a West Side instrument?
You know, like some loud like guitar or something like that.
Loud guitar as opposed to a quiet guitar.
No, like some gothed up dick, playing like.
I don't know what picture you're painting.
Gothed up dick. So you know what the funniest part about the Pittsburgh violin player? It was not the fact that he was playing the violin through his speaker in the parking lot of TJ Maxx for tips.
By the way, he's probably cleaning up.
No. The funniest part was there were people like standing on the sidewalk taking it in.
Yeah, that I can't do.
But not getting too close where they had to tip.
Bingo. But they were like nodding their heads, Kimmy, and like talking with each other about what he was doing. Like these people know their violin, right? Like it was super obvious from a distance. Like these people just wanted to seem like they knew what was going on, which they obviously did not, because who's an expert on the violin violin.
But they wanted to look intelligent.
Exactly. If they didn't stop and do the whole appreciate what he was doing thing, they would not have looked cultured, which is a massive no-no in Pittsburgh.
That is true.
You know, I guess the strangest part about this, and the phone number is 252-WCMF, 252-9263. Rochester is not a big busker city.
No.
Busker being a term for someone that's going to play an instrument for money. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. And we should be a bigger busker city.
Well, consider how many musicians come through here.
First off, we got Eastman, right, which is one of the
renowned,
best music schools in America. We're also Festival City, USA.
Oh, yeah.
Every weekend, there was somewhere for those folks to go set up. And it's not like they don't exist. For example, last week during the Jazz Fest, you had a ton of people on the street.
You saw so many.
Yeah, doing what this Pittsburgh guy was doing. Why don't we see more buskers in the greater Rochester area?
Well, you'd have to be in a walkable place, like right where a place where there are there's a lot of traffic coming through. And I can't think of a ton of walkable towns.
We got the Lucky Flea downtown. You've got the public market downtown. You've got every carnival that happens. Lilac Festival.
Right, and you do see it at those places. But you're asking, like, why don't you see it more just
festival, just guy on the side of the street.
No, I mean,
like you see in the city.
You don't see a ton of them at the festivals either.
Oh, I saw it. It was all when we had Park Ave Fest. There was one on every corner.
But
those are like booked performances.
Some of them.
Oh.
Whenever I see Cornhill, like the ones at Cornhill and like Park Ave, I think Tommy's right. Like that's someone playing at someone's front lawn. Yeah. Or whatever. We'll give you beer. Like I don't know if they get paid.
But like I would be shocked if I was like, let's say I was down on Park Ave Tuesday afternoon having lunch at like Giants.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I see a guy out there playing a violin, no festival, just Giant guy. That would kind of be weird.
Like if you
I've never seen that.
If you think about Park Ave on a Saturday or a Sunday in the summer, there's always foot traffic there.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I've only seen it one time. It was like two guys with drums on the corner there, like right near where like Giants is kind of. Okay. But I've only seen it once.
So maybe we have a lot of musicians, but they're all super lazy. They don't want to really earn it.
But they're going to make money. I mean, there's always people to put money in their thing. I did this when I was in middle school with my buddy at the Lilac Festival.
What'd you do?
We played guitar.
No, you did not.
We made a fortune. Seriously.
Wait, the Lilac Festival?
Yeah,
your fat ass was down there with a guitar.
My buddy, who is the record producer, the one I told you about, he lives in New York.
Oh, yeah, Fancy Man.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest musicians I've ever seen in my life.
No kidding.
I would just stand there and like, and he would do all the work. And yeah, we made like $200 in an hour.
An hour?
Yes, it was insane. I mean, bro, that was in like 1999.
Kimmy, that's when $200 is $200.
And we were like 12. Like it was amazing. We were gonna go buy tickets to see the Beastie Boys, but then we spent it all on candy.
Priorities.
But no, I mean, like I don't know why people don't do this more. Because I mean, it is fun.
But here's the other thing. Like, let's say you got your hat, you got your violin out there, your guitar. Who's got money anymore?
That's what I was just gonna say. Did it go away when people stopped carrying cash on them? Because like if you all you have is a 20 in your wallet, you're not throwing that down.
No,
you ain't that good.
That's a good call. 252-WCMF, 252-9263. We're talking about the Pittsburgh violinist. The man, at least when I witnessed him, was playing the violin through speakers out in the parking lot in front of TJ Maxx at the Pittsburgh Plaza. Are you guys folks that will give money to street performers?
No.
How do you not, with your background?
What's my background?
Well, you were a performer.
Yeah, no one gave me any money.
I say were, yeah, but it's based on talent.
No, I don't think I've ever thrown change into those things.
Ever? Not once in your life?
I don't think so. Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I used to see them at the airport a lot. Like when I was flying like home to Florida, like at JFK, you'd see somebody with a guitar and like back, before everything changed.
Yeah.
Like people would go in there and like perform.
And you never gave them money?
No. Like, how bad you going, man? You own a guitar, sell that.
Kimmy, do you give money to street performers?
I'm trying to remember a time that I have, and I don't think I have.
Have you?
I don't think I ever had like cash on me.
Wait, you say tried to?
Well, I mean, I didn't go like run over to the violin player and give him money.
I always hate having. I got to dig out the money and.
I also feel like if you're in a place where there are a lot of street performers, you don't, because I'm like, well, I can't give money to that guy, not that guy.
Well, no, like one of them moves you. You don't want to like. Say,
I've never been moved by a Sammy saxophone on the street corner.
You've never been like impressed though. I have been impressed by street performers.
Really?
Yeah.
You've
Just
never
a
been
guy-
impressed by a street
Yeah.
performer in your life?
Well, I mean,
Where you stop to watch for a little bit?
I mean, it's just out of the blue. There's a guy blowing a trumpet.
Well, I don't think trumpet would work as like the standalone instrument.
No, but you've seen those guys, like a saxophone or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah, semi-saxophone.
Yeah. No, I mean, like if I'm I'm with Kimmy. If I'm impressed by that, I want to like say, I guess reward the guy. Is that
I don't know, but like when you go up to Toronto and you walk around, there's like a million of those guys.
Yeah.
And then there's that other dick, that statue dude.
That guy's weird.
Well, he's looking for money too.
You know, my uncle did that.
No.
My dad's brother had a job at a tuxedo shop. He can stand still for hours.
Wow.
And he would be a
So could my first wife.
Yeah, he would stand to the window as a human
kidding.
mannequin and then like move and freak people out. He lives as a park ranger now in Utah.
What a wasted talent for a park ranger. So, but I mean, you see all that stuff, but it's like, man, if you were any good, you'd have an actual job. But
It could just be something they enjoy doing.
But if you're really good, you'd be like doing it with a band.
Maybe they are.
The worst was when you see like small band of guys, like snare drum, guitar, singer dude.
Why?
On the street.
Why is
like
that
you're,
bad?
Like you're the three saddest musicians, and you found each other and formed a sad band.
By the way, that's most bands. Like most of the bands we play here on CMF started in that way, or at some point in their career did that. They didn't.
Well, maybe.
The Beatles, at their most famous, were on top. The last performance they ever had was on top of a bar. John Lennon made $40 that day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's when $40 was $40, and that's pounds, buddy.
You know, speaking of the Beatles, as we're talking about Rochester busking with this violin player in Pittsburgh from last week, there is one famous Rochester busker that spans generations.
Wait, famous?
Do you guys remember the Beatle?
Yes, because he was always out in Charlotte.
Yes.
Near like the Abbots there.
That was his spot. He would set up on summer nights next to the Abbots in Charlotte. He had a mop top haircut. He had these speakers.
Wait, he dressed up as a Beatle? I don't remember this.
He had speakers and Rubbermaid bins, and he had an electric acoustic guitar, and he would play only Beatles songs.
So he would sing them?
But here's the thing. He would only play if someone gave him money. And
wait, that's what started it? Like a jukebox?
Well, no, like he had this big-ass sign. I remember this distinctly, where it said, like, you know, if you would like da-da-da-da, but it was almost like scolding you to give him money.
Okay.
And he would stand there in silence with his guitar on until somebody gave him money. And it was very awkward if no one wanted to, like, pay him to play.
Because that's not how it works.
That's
like,
kind of what I thought.
You perform, then I give you money based on your performance.
Because you're also standing there in line most of the time, too.
Yeah,
on like
he was
a
in the
summer
way.
night. Yeah.
He's in the way, right? It would be like showing up at McDonald's, jumping behind the counter, and refusing to work until somebody cut you a paycheck. But no, every time I would go down to Charlotte in the summertime as a kid, the Beatle would be there.
Wow. I can't remember ever seeing. I remember there was an accordion guy at the Red Wings.
Walter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the only other guy I could think of around here that was like a regular summer musician.
I forgot about him. He's got to have the most ticket stubs in the history of any Rochesterian.
But he could have cleaned up.
You think he
I don't know. I mean, he was at a Red Wings game, all those people coming by.
He would always hide in the hallway. Now, I say hide, but he would set up in the hallway at the Amherst games, and he would scare the crap out of you if you didn't know he was there walking back to your car.
I also remember, like, people...
Take me out to the hockey game. Jesus.
That's not even a song, man.
Well, I mean, he just put whatever.
I also remember people just, like, throwing him change, and I always thought, like, is that, like, insulting? Like, if I'm not giving you, like, paper bills, I always kind of felt like,
I always figured most of those guys got change.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to throw at them.
I mean, it all adds up, right?
I guess. I would feel funny, though. I'd feel funny throwing in, like, a handful of dimes, you know what I mean?
Who's got a handful of dimes?
I don't
Easy
know.
dime, buddy.
All right, so if any of you listening have a talent, it seems like there's a massive market for people to go play on the street.
You know who would clean up? Like a kid on a nobody's gonna turn down a kid doing something
Little
cute
kid.
with an instrument.
No, like I said, we made like $200 in an hour at the Lilac
I
Festival.
said cute kid, not fat kid. Hey, diabetic Teddy over there with his flappy jeans.
Can't get over the flappy jeans,
Oh,
can
they
you?
were flapping.
Bro, if you want to talk about outfits from back in the day.
I was sharp. I was on point, baby.
Let's take a break. Kimmy's confused.
All right, what happened?
With the story of 3 people going missing. Now, by the way, they've been found, everybody's safe. And it is kind of funny how it all worked out because it was all hands on deck, it seems, based on the story. But I'm with you, Kimmy. I'm not really familiar with anybody in this area making this a hobby for them either.
I didn't know there were places you could do this here.
We'll get into the story, and we'll do it next here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. Thank God these folks are okay.
Okay.
By the way, great response by like everybody in the greater Rochester area to make sure these folks were okay. None of it was needed, which is kind of funny on the back end. But I think Kimmy's right here.
What's that?
I don't know if this is a common thing in the greater Rochester area. What ended up getting these folks lost?
Oh.
You're hanging out in the break room, Rochester Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF, we are back. We are live here in studio with you. We are live on camera. Hello. You can watch us, the Odyssey app, WCMF.com, YouTube and Twitch. YouTube, you can get us at the break room, WCMF. We're all like super tan because we were like, on vacation.
Well, Kimmy's done it.
I'm not either.
Yeah. What y'all do?
Well, my wife is a dermatologist. She slathers me in sunscreen.
I have the same dermatologist. I got tan.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't care about you as much.
No, she's looking for a bonus. Get some stuff growing on my nose.
Live stream brought to you by Three Heads Brewery. Three Heads Brewing, official brewery of the stuff growing on Tommy's nose. Well, you know I have.
I probably paid for that trip to D.C.
Thank you, by the way.
With those 2 polyps I had removed.
Yeah, that's how good you are. You paid for a trip to all the free museums. Just after 8 o'clock, speaking of that trip to D.C., I had my moment.
What happened?
It's a dream moment.
Wow.
Top 5 for everybody that's a sports fan. And I blew it.
Oh.
And I want to fight an old man because of it.
Oh.
And we'll get into it just after 8 o'clock here in the break room on CMF. Over the weekend, 3 people went missing during a tubing trip down Owaka Creek on the west side.
Where the hell's Owaka Creek?
So it's like Scottsville West. You've
Yeah,
never
they
been
named
to Owaka?
Scottsville.
No,
as
it's
the
like where you and
main
your buddies
area.
used to hang out on Saturday night. Owaka Creek.
We actually would go hang out.
Bend over bend.
We would go hang out at Owaka
I'm
Creek.
sure you did. So they went tubing?
Yeah, so it was a group of 4, and somehow 3 of them were separated from the 4th person. And
But you're just in a river like in town.
A creek.
Creek.
A creek in town.
We know the specific
All
creek.
right.
Yeah.
Owaka Creek. The 4th person called 911 to report them missing, and it was an all-hands-on-deck situation.
Right.
Story on 10 NBC says the Scottsville, Clifton, Mumford, Caledonia, Henrietta, Rush, and
Holy
Honeyway
Christ.
Falls Fire Department had a hand in these missing folks being located. Also, the Monroe County Sheriff's Department, State Police Aviation Unit, there were off-road
Wait,
vehicles.
they said planes?
That's what it sounds like, or helicopters. There were off-road vehicles and boats used to locate them. Turns out, after a little while of not knowing where they had ended up, the 3 missing folks got out of the water and walked back to the bridge where they started.
So they weren't even gone that far.
I guess not. They then borrowed someone's cell phone and called 911, and that's when they were located.
Oh.
It was all good. But, Kimmy, you saw this story.
Yeah, I had no idea that creek tubing was a popular activity here. Like, I didn't think we had
Tubists.
I guess I didn't know we had like a creek or river, like, well, not river. I guess you could do it in any river, but a creek long enough.
I wouldn't do it in
Yeah,
the Tennessee
I guess I
River.
wouldn't either.
Well, you can do it for a little bit. I would think.
I guess I didn't realize people did this.
I always
this is
think
a
like
common
that's
thing.
like something you do in the South or out West.
Yeah, like a Midwest activity.
Yeah, like lazy river tubing.
No, I got you.
Like you're huck finning.
If you put your eyes on Owaka Creek, I mean, it is the kind of creek you could pull this off.
Is
on.
it?
And Owaka Creek.
But how long does it go for?
About a crick's length.
Wow, that long.
Yeah, I don't know. I know where, like, I'm familiar with the Scottsville area, but apparently it's very popular for fly fishermen.
All right.
So, like, whenever.
So it's shallow.
Parts of it, yes. Parts of it, not. Because is the fish hatchery out that way? Is that part of Owaka Creek too? 252 WCMF? Because we used to jump into that.
Wait, do you have a West Side fish hatchery?
There is a. Yes, we do.
For unplanned pregnancies. Is that what I see all those protesters out there? Hoe fish.
I don't know if it's got to be Owaka. Shut up. Yeah, no, there's a bridge near it, and we used to jump off the bridge into whatever. I think that was Owaka Creek. I think.
So it's deep enough where you can.
Well, you probably shouldn't.
Yeah, don't do it because
it's dangerous as hell.
Yeah, you're probably gonna.
I guess that's the thing too.
neck
Like, I guess I never
the
thought
cow.
of like creeks as being deep enough to tube down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would think you'd get stuck on the rocks.
Have you ever tubed?
Not like a hotel in Myrtle Beach.
Well, those don't count, man.
No, I've never been.
The only time I ever tubed was when I was in like summer camps and crap like that.
So you
like,
just-
I never
Where you
think of like
just floated
adults doing.
around?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
they would take a whole bunch of us
Yeah.
down a thing.
Can I ask a tubing question? Because like when you get in the lazy rivers, right, that you see at like those hotels or resorts or whatever,
Yeah.
it goes in a circle, brings
Right.
you back. When you
Yeah, where do you stop?
and do I get to carry my tube back to my car?
Ooh, that would suck.
How does that work?
So the way they did it in school was like there would be the bus would be down there to take you back to camp.
Gotcha.
To your point. But the other thing is like you had to ride back to camp with a wet ass in a seat. Because your ass just gets soaked the whole time.
Also, go ahead.
It is an uncomfortable feeling having only your ass wet.
It's a weird feeling.
Right? Yeah.
I also wonder how fast is that current moving where you could get separated from people and completely lose them.
Okay, but tubing is also one of those things where even in like the lazy rivers, it's easy to lose because all it takes is getting caught up on one corner or like somebody being
a branch,
or heavier than somebody else, and all of a sudden like pew, you're gone.
Yeah.
But I mean, if these people, so these are either the 4 tubers in the entire greater Rochester area,
or there's a lot of people doing this.
But I mean, it's not like you see these things being sold as like tourist stuff in
No.
Rochester. Like, there's no store you go into where it's like, I'd like a tube for the creek, please.
Right.
Because there's a kayak joint down in Webster that you could do like Allen's Creek and all that stuff. But there's no tube joint, to your point. And it looks like the boringest thing in the world.
That's not relaxing.
For a little bit.
Way to stay cool.
Yeah.
No, because most of your body's exposed to the sun.
Yeah. The only thing cool
around a little.
is your sex parts.
My penis doesn't get wet.
Well, mine does. I use it for a rudder. This water's cold. It's deep, too.
252 WCMF 252-9263. Again, we're talking about 3 people that went missing, at least for a little while, when they were tubing down a Wacket Creek over the weekend. 4th person that separated from them called 911. Again, Scottsville, Clifton, Mumford, Caledonia, Henrietta, Rush, and the Honeyway Falls Fire Department all had a hand looking. The sheriffs got in there, state aviation unit. There were off-road vehicles, boats used to find them. Turns out, after these folks realized they didn't know where they were, they just like walked back to where they started and called 911.
I would also wonder, like, if you're going to go out and do this, do you have to, like, plan a route? Like, I would imagine, like, you have to look at a physical map to see where you're going to end up.
You don't really have to plan a route. The route's planned out for you. It's the creek.
Well, but I would think, like, you have to know where it's going, if it splits off. I don't know.
Downstream.
Yeah. Rocks. I'd be scared of, like, hitting a rock.
On a tube, though? You're doing, like, 2 miles an hour.
No, but let's say to our point, all of a sudden you hit, like, rapids you weren't aware of.
Are there rapids in the greater Rochester?
I don't know. You could have some rocks, some crap going on. I don't know. We've had a lot of rain.
Well, why would rain produce rocks?
No, rain produces current. It goes into the creek.
Yeah.
Creek gets high.
Okay.
Water starts moving quick.
Oh, high creek into the rocks area.
And then you know, you get your balls whacked on a Wacket Creek.
I would assume if you're...
Whack my balls.
I would assume if you're tubing down the creek, you're familiar with the area, right?
Well, obviously these kids weren't because they got lost. They're probably not that good at tubing.
Again, we keep saying kids. It doesn't have an age. I'm just assuming it's kids.
Well, young adults.
Well, okay, no, I'm going to say it says here in the story, 3 people were found safe after a search in the area of Canawangas Park.
Canawangas?
Canawagas Park in Scottsville.
So what is this whole area just one big penis joke?
I live around the corner from Scottsville. I've never heard of that park in my life. Yeah, no, it doesn't have anything about the ages of these people. So these sound like they could be grown-ass people.
Yeah, because if it was kids, they'd probably say, like, young people.
252-WCMF, 252-9263. We may have found the tubers,
all
maybe.
Right.
Let's talk to Haley. Hey, Haley, you're on CMF. What's up?
Hey, guys. This is Haley. I'm actually living out in Orleans County.
That's great. Good for you.
This is, okay, no, it's not that great. We call it the OC for a reason. And seriously, this is like a normal thing for everyone.
Do you tube?
I mean, we kayak, we tube. There's not much to do out here, so.
All right. So there's a community of tubists, as Tommy put it. Okay.
And we have the Oak Orchard Creek down here, and it's a great time.
What, you drink? You said bring a cooler. You drink while you do this?
I mean, that sounds, yeah, I would.
Oh yeah. It's a good time.
And by the way, they token, too.
Are you token, Haley?
Not personally, but
you got your edibles.
I mean,
you got your wet gummies.
Come on.
Haley, how old are you, if you don't mind me?
You can't dropping them in. I'm 24.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, like, of all ages, people are doing this.
So we're talking old, we're talking like 80-year-old tubers, 10-year-old tubers, 24-year-old token tubers.
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Why not?
Well, I'm just not familiar. I get it. I get the draw to it. I've never met a tuber before.
Yeah, it'd be weird, like, if you met, let's say you start dating some chick.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you'd start dating Haley.
Yeah.
And, you know, she goes, hey, man, Saturday, we're tubing. You want to come? Do you go tubing?
Well, I mean,
Haley?
I'll go tubing
I would
with
trust
Haley.
a regular tuber.
She sounds fun.
But you're only tubing because you think you're going to get laid.
Yeah.
I mean, she's bringing beer.
Is it romantic, Haley? Like, would you take a guy on a date and then like be willing to go home with him after a tubing?
I mean, I went home with my boyfriend after tubing.
No, I'm thinking we're going to have sex down on the creek.
You don't want to have crick sex, man.
No, we're going to Finger Gulch.
I recommend showering first, though, because
Yeah, but think of all the little microbes.
I'm with you.
And I'm talking about your penis when I say that.
No, but I've been thinking if I'm going to get some sex, I want some tubing sex.
No, but shower first, man. I'm not putting creek water
Not
all
like
up in my
slinking
lady.
What
off
kind of
it.
bacteria is in there?
No, I'm saying like slinking off, find a little spot, have her grab a tree.
But you were in the creek.
So what?
there are a lot of places to stop on the side, and there's little trails. So, I mean, why not?
Again, creek water all up in my lady, which is my favorite Kenny Rogers song of all time.
How's it go?
Creek water all up in my lady. Once Kenny Rogers sings a song, it's eternally his. Hey, Haley, thank you for the tubing information. We really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great day, guys.
All right, bye, Haley. She's had sex tubing.
Oh, I would think.
Okay.
I mean, that would be fun.
On the tube, that would be impossible to do. Think about the balance you would need.
You get out of the tube, you get on the side of the creek, and you have a little fun.
Like that.
Stop doing that.
Somebody did
You're
call and
ruining the
say
water.
you do run the risk of popping the tube in the creek, in which you would then have to walk your ass back.
Oh, you deflate
to
your
where you
tube.
came from.
Are we talking about while having sex or just tubing?
No, just tubing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blow
All
a
right.
hole in your tube.
All right. Well, now look, we learned something.
Yeah.
One, tubing exists.
It's back, baby.
Two, 24-year-old Haley loves to go tubing. Three, it is something that could lead to sex.
Yep.
So do with that information what you will. Let's take a break. This was my moment.
Oh.
And look, I say my moment. This is a top 5 fantasy for every sports fan listening to this show. You are in a major league ballpark, and all of a sudden, it's coming right for you.
Really?
It's your opportunity.
Wow.
I sit here today without this in my hand.
What you do, man?
Because of an unfortunate series of events. And Tommy, I committed, and I committed hard to the point where I hurt myself badly.
Wow.
But it's not that bothers me with the situation. It's what another man did.
Oh.
And we'll tell you the whole story next here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. There are a few things normal sports fans see as a once-in-a-lifetime moment.
Yeah.
And this is one that counts for all of us.
Oh, wow.
There are rules that go along with this, Tom. Rules that a man whom I had never met before this unfortunate moment broke with extreme prejudice.
What happened?
You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF, we are back. We are live. You were in Chicago for a little while last week, visiting your new grandbaby. How's the grandbaby?
Doing all the baby stuff.
Get out of here.
Baby's doing baby stuff?
Just making noises.
Okay. Kimmy, who's been jet setting in previous weeks, she was bummed around for a week.
Pretty much.
I told you earlier this morning, my family and I, we went to Washington, D.C.
Very patriotic.
It was great, man. I'm telling you, like, that is something I had never experienced D.C. on the 4th of July.
Oh, D.C. in the heat? Oh, the best.
It was brutally hot. The heat index was 110 degrees every day. But, like I said, if you're looking to do a cheap family vacation, all the museums...
doesn't break the bank.
No, all the museums are free.
Wow.
They're all free.
Yeah, because of my taxes.
Well, actually, yes. But... I mean, it's amazing. It's so much cool stuff. The kids loved every second of it. And really, the only thing that we paid to do was to go to a Nationals game, a Washington Nationals game, on the 4th of July.
Nice. Baseball on the 4th of July in the nation's capital.
Did you get a cool, flyover or anything?
Yes, we did. That was cool. And they do it's an 11 o'clock in the morning special game for the 4th of July because they do fireworks that night on the National Mall. So it was like this big event. It was super cool. And at this game, Tommy, there was a moment that anyone that has ever gone to a Major League Baseball game praise happens to them.
What happened?
We're sitting in our seats. All of a sudden, crack of the bat. We're sitting behind, on the first baseline area. Ball goes up.
Ooh.
It's coming right for us.
Foul ball.
Foul ball is coming right for us. And it's the perfect kind of foul ball because it's high and it's out of the sun. And I got eyes on it. Right. And it's like it's heat-seeking missile right for my face. So I see it coming, and the wind takes it a little bit, and it's going to hit 3 rows behind us. Now, luckily, all of that space is empty because of the 110-degree heat index that I mentioned earlier. We're the only idiots that are trying to soak this game in, right? I'm doing the math in my head quickly. And if this ball hits the concrete behind us and bounces backwards on the backspin, this sucker's all mine.
Okay.
It's all mine. So I'd like to pause the story for a second. Catching a foul ball at a Major League game is a top 5 moment for every sports fan, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Fair? I mean, I'm not going to ask you. You're a sissy. But, Kimmy, if your husband...
she's got the hands for it.
If your husband is at a Major League Baseball game and that foul ball is coming towards him...
Well, I would expect him, to catch it.
He
played college baseball, right?
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I would be disappointed if he didn't catch it.
It's past catching it. It's past catching because I think your husband would catch it. Do you think he is a man that is going to do all he can to get his hands on that foul ball?
As long as he's not jumping on top of somebody or stealing
diving.
it from a kid, you know what I mean? That's a bad look. But if it is just coming at him and he has the opportunity, I'm expecting him to catch that baseball.
But if you're running 3 rows over, it's
right. I'm not expecting him to leap in the air or go so far out of his way to get it.
Okay,
those guys are dicks.
Look, man, look. If you catch a foul ball...
Don't hurt yourself trying to catch the thing.
Don't be a fool.
Everyone shut up. If you catch a foul ball, not only do you get a super unique souvenir, you are asserting dominance over all the other people around you. You have the ball and they do not. And look, for the folks...
Pretty weak dominance.
Yeah.
Okay. So
you didn't hit the ball.
Going back to the story, the ball is going to hit 3 rows behind us in the concrete, and what do you know? Just like I predicted, it bounces 20 feet in the air, and it's coming to the empty row behind us.
So it's yours.
Right behind me. Bro, it is 4 feet away. Unfortunately, even with my long gorilla arms, it is slightly out of my grasp, and I see this as it's coming down, so I want this ball. But I mean, what a perfect way to, right, this.
What a capper of your vacation.
4th of July, I'm sure it's a special 4th of July ball.
Oh, sure.
Okay, so I lay out to get this ball.
So you reach over the row behind you?
Oh, I didn't reach. I jumped.
Over the seat?
Yes. No regard for my safety, over 2 rows of seats onto the concrete ground. And in doing so, I hurt myself very badly. Very badly. One part of the seat hit both my knees, and I still have bruises. The other part of the seat hit me right in my rib cage.
Okay.
Knocked the wind out of me, and my hands...
Not a soft landing.
No, it was not. As I'm coming down, the ball lands in my fingertips. I'm holding it.
So you touch the ball.
Tommy, it's being held up like it's a trophy in my fingertips. When I hit the ground with the ball, I knocked the wind out of myself, and everything hurt. And the ball dribbles out of my fingers.
They're probably sweaty, too.
It was very
tough
hot.
on the grip, yeah.
Hot. Okay, but here's the thing. The ball did not roll that far away. Right. The ball is still. It is millimeters from my fingers.
Yeah.
And I can't get to it. I am all the way
so
stretched out.
You get up and walk over to it.
No, I can't. I knocked the wind out of myself.
So you're still straddling these chairs.
I am over the rows of seats, okay? I am flat down. The wind is knocked out of me. I'm literally going, go. And the ball, Tommy, the ball is literally here. It is. I just can't. There's no more. There's no more. So the only person near us, behind us, is this old man that is like 8 seats away.
Yeah.
He gets up, does not rush, slowly walks over to the ball, right? Now, he takes the ball, and he shows it to me. Like, he puts it in my face. And at that point, I was under the impression that this old man had gotten up to give me the ball.
Oh.
I have 2 little kids with me.
Right.
You just saw the effort I put in. I am very hurt, obviously very hurt of the crowd right now. He puts the ball inches from my face. He then takes the ball, walks back and sits down.
He keeps the ball.
It was the most disrespectful, unnecessary thing I had ever seen in my life. So dick, in fact, that the people sitting in front of us could not believe he did not give the ball to me.
At least to your daughters or something.
Bro,
I would think like you give it to a kid.
Thank you.
Or, you know.
Yeah.
He was alone at the game. No kids,
well,
no
there's a
friends.
reason why he's alone.
Okay.
Now we know why.
Older guy alone at a ball game is absolutely keeping that ball.
No, but you
He's
should.
a dick.
Yeah, he's there for that purpose.
That ball should be in my house right now.
My ball.
He is here to capitalize on your loss.
No, but what you didn't have to show me the ball.
Yeah, the fact that he showed it to you was also a really, really cruel move.
Inches from my face.
Finders keepers, bitch.
I can see the mark where he fouled it off on the ball. It's inches from my face, and he sits down. Not only did I do everything I could to bring that ball home, like I said, I had my kids with me, and Kimmy, you're right. Kids overrule any...
no, I would think if you, I mean, you see it all the time at like Red Wings games. Anytime an adult catches or gets their hands on a foul ball, it immediately goes to a kid.
Yes.
And like my kids were like cheering for me too while I was laying out for the ball.
It's an exciting moment for a little kid.
That was my moment. That was my moment.
Yeah.
And he took it away from me.
And you have bruises to show for it.
It was so painful. It was so painful and stupid.
Did you keep looking back at him?
Yeah, no, well, like, okay, so, like, I wasn't initially, like, furious because I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
And,
the shock hadn't worn off yet.
Nope. And you know what it's like? Well, maybe you don't because you're a sissy. But, like, most men...
mock me now.
Most men know what it's like when you hurt yourself in front of your wife and kids. You don't want to let on that you're really hurt.
Okay.
Right? So I'm trying to play it off cool. Yeah. But I was worried that maybe I had broken a rib. Like, seriously, the way that I hit these seats, right? So, like, as the game went on and I started, like, getting my wits about me...
Yeah.
The internal rage that I was feeling towards it, I kept looking.
Because he's still sitting over there.
He's holding the ball in his hand. He didn't even put the ball away. He's sitting there with it in his hand.
Where are you going to put it, really?
But I kept thinking to myself, like, if I go take this ball, what's he going to do?
Punch you in your bruised rib.
Okay, well,
Poke you with his cane.
Maybe I'm not in a...
You can't go get it, man.
Why? Why couldn't I?
Actually, once you had that epic fail of not getting it, I wouldn't even want the ball then. I would have just left it there.
No, okay.
Like, once I fell down, hurt myself, I'm done with the ball.
I didn't fall down. I dove. The dive was intentional. It's where I landed was not intentional.
Yeah.
And I guess there wasn't a good place for me to land. It just took over. Instinct took over.
But I'm done. I'm done with baseball. I'm out.
252 WCMF, 252-9263. I laid out over a bunch of plastic seats on a concrete floor to catch a foul ball at the Washington Nationals game on the 4th of July. It was millimeters from my fingers as I lay there in pain when an old man, 8 seats away, slowly got up, walked over to where I could not reach the ball, picked it up, showed it to me inches from my face, turned around, and sat back down again. You want the ass kicker of all ass kickers?
Whatever.
So I would not be sharing this story with you because it's a very embarrassing story.
It's very embarrassing.
If it were not for the fact that by some stroke of coincidence, 2 people from Rochester who listened to the show were sitting right above us.
No.
Hand
Look at that. How'd you know they were there?
Well, because while I was lying in pain, writhing over these seats, I hear somebody go, Dovey! I go, what? What?
Would you think you're having a dream?
Am I in heaven? Did I die going over these seats? And it's these two folks who I met before who listen to the show from Rochester who are standing up like, hey! And they're taking pictures of me as I'm splayed out over the... Like, I couldn't even go to D.C. and not be massively embarrassed. Like, why does the universe hate me so much?
I don't know.
It is amazing, though, how in situations like that, all self-preservation goes out the window. And I know you think I'm stupid, but I'm not alone in this. When that ball is coming your way.
Or that free T-shirt.
Yes.
Or that hot dog.
Yes. Right? Everything you've been waiting for your whole life to show that that's yours and you're going to... I mean, especially...
Doesn't matter what it's worth. Just the fact that this is now your chance to get one over on other people around you.
Like, what are you achieving... grabbing a $12 T-shirt.
It's yours.
Or a $2 hot dog.
All right, the hot dog and the T-shirt, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one.
I don't know. My dad would lay out for any of that stuff.
Yeah, my old man loved all that. And he was rich. And he wanted all this cheap crap.
Well, free is for me. You know what people say,
I know.
Right?
I'll take 3.
But there's something about that Major League ball. It's such a white whale for so many people, right? Because there's, 18, 20,000 people in those ballparks. Right.
Yeah.
And how many balls go in the stands? 10?
Yeah.
20?
Right. It's part of Americana.
Like there wasn't even a question in my mind that I wasn't going to do everything I can to get. I was going to hurt myself as much as it took to get that baseball. Yeah. It just kicked in like a switch flipped, and it was the stupidest thing. It was the first day we were there. The rest of the weekend, we're walking 10 miles a day to go see all this. Like,
yeah, doing it on the first day of a walking vacation is the worst.
That's tough.
I still got the bruises. I'll show you. They're up in.
Where is it?
They're like the gross bruises too, where they're like white and brown.
Oh yeah, well you're also Irish. I think only Irish people get them really gross bruises.
What?
Because of your skin.
What are you talking about?
Because you got that weird Irish skin. It doesn't bruise well.
What are you talking?
I'm Italian. We bruise great.
Do you?
We bruise great.
We do.
He's like a fake
weird brag.
You know, to your point earlier, the thing they don't tell you about going for that foul ball
What's that?
is how embarrassing it is to sit back down after everyone watched
After
you
you
give
don't catch it.
Yeah.
Your epic fail.
You gave everything you had. Like every person left in this, because there was a couple people in front of us, really nice older couple of them. They all had something to say. And even the people like on the other side of the aisle, like when I was leaving the game, limping my ass up the stairs, right?
What'd they say?
Well, they're hey, it was good, it was close.
Nice try.
Yeah, like no one was being a dick about it, but like I don't want to hear it. And even my wife felt bad.
Yeah.
She knew I was disappointed, but when my wife wants to make
Get
me
him next time, Scout.
Well, that's just it. When my wife wants to make me feel better, Kimmy, she starts talking to me like I'm 5.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what wives and moms do.
But like, I don't want to tell her to stop because I know it's coming from a place of kindness.
Yes.
But it
is annoying.
And it's dumb. It makes me feel so stupid. Oh no, are you? Oh, honey. Oh, are you?
Okay?
Are you okay?
Can you walk?
It's okay.
You know, we don't have to take the stairs. There's a lift or a ramp.
You know what she tells me?
What?
As I'm sitting there like 5 minutes, she goes, maybe another ball will come.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Is it more embarrassing to not catch the ball, like lay out and miss the ball, or you know, if it's coming at you, you drop it, or is it more embarrassing to get hit because you're not paying attention?
Second one.
Well, that one really hurts. The hit when you ain't paying attention, you can really F yourself up.
Oh, but she's not talking about pain. She's talking embarrassment.
Right, right.
I would say the second one's more embarrassing because how are you not dialed into the game?
Yeah, but the other one you tried and missed and hurt yourself.
But baseball is one of those sports where there's so much downtime that, or even like it gets boring where you're just talking to people, or you're just taking in the sights.
Right.
I don't know. So this was the first major league game that I had. Oh no, I take that back. It was a 2-hour game. The pitch clock has taken all the downtime. Oh, that's right.
They quick, yeah.
But
even that, it's still baseball, man.
I had the time of my life at that game. It was super entertaining, and it was a pitcher's duel. They hit a pinch hit walk-off or pinch hit home run in the 8th inning.
No.
It was
What was the score?
1-0.
That's like a worst baseball game ever.
It was great, bro. It was perfect. It was moving super quick. It was 110 degrees outside, and I got to see the president races. You seen those?
The president race? All the fake president dummy things.
Yep.
Like the big heads?
Yeah.
Clouds in Washington. Yeah. Yes, the big heads. Those poor suckers. 110-degree heat index having to sprint in big old foam.
Tough time of year for mascots.
Yes, it is. So I have a picture of this man because.
Oh, the old man?
Yeah.
You never want to forget his face.
Oh, because of the people that took the picture of you?
It was actually somebody else who was from Rochester that also took a picture. It was the
Wait, two different sets of people from Rochester saw you do this?
I ran into 4 people from Rochester at the Nationals game.
That actually listen to this show.
What do you want from me, man? I was just as shocked as you were. But this Ashley is her name.
Yeah.
Follows me on Instagram. And yes, I have the picture of this guy's face, and I hate him.
How old? My age?
I would say probably 60s. It's hard to
No,
tell.
he's my age.
Here he is right now. He kind of looks like you if you had hair and class. He's holding the ball in the picture.
He's a classy guy at a ball game at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing jeans. He's wearing a polo shirt. He's got boobs. So, yeah, he's just like you.
Oh, all right. How much hair? I hate guys my age that have hair.
He's got a lot of hair, and it's long, too. He's got long hair.
Wait, he's got long hair?
Yeah.
Flaunting dick.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you. You could even see the... I smushed a bunch of, like, boxes of food that was, like, behind me, like empty boxes.
Oh, there
but
you are.
Still...
Look at you.
Yeah. Oh.
Thank God there's nobody behind you.
Well, I wouldn't have laid out if somebody was there.
You sure about that?
No. All right, let's take a break. It's been a crazy couple of days in Greece.
What happened now?
Well, we told you about the 2 guys that were arrested for making explosive devices, according to police.
Yeah, blowing up the sewer.
Then we have a story of 2 people that were practicing with a weapon and made a terrible mistake. Did you see this story?
Wait, they were just goofing with a weapon?
Goofing maybe is the wrong... I don't know. Tell you what. I'm going to tell you the story. You tell me or not if it was goofing because...
It was a weapon.
It went really bad.
But that's what weapons do. They go really bad when you want them to.
We'll get into it next here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. We're going to warn you up front.
What happened?
This is a story that's going to bother a lot of people.
Oh, no.
Not all humans involved are safe.
Okay.
However, this may be a lesson in absolute stupidity because nothing logically about this story lines up.
Yeah.
And with the way that we've heard some folks describe how they do this, it was only, it seems, a matter of time before an accident like this were to happen.
All right.
We're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF. We are back from vacation. We are live. And this story specifically comes from the town of Greece. Around 10 in the morning, police were called to Adelaide Park for reports of a dog that had been shot with an arrow.
You got to be, what? Somebody shot a dog with an arrow?
Well, that's just it. It doesn't seem they intentionally meant to shoot the dog with an arrow.
So they just errantly wait, so they took a bow and arrow to the park?
So, okay, the arrow came out of nowhere. Like, the dog was walking, and all of a sudden it had an arrow in its abdomen. The dog's owner rushed the dog to urgent care. It was from there taken to Niagara Falls for surgery. As of now, the dog's condition is unknown. Let's hope the dog is okay.
Yeah.
But we do have to get back to where the hell that arrow came from.
Yeah.
Right.
Police say they know. They arrested a 56-year-old man
56?
and a 45-year-old woman. Authorities say the pair was doing target practice in their yard on Denise Road in Greece with a crossbow.
Wait. That's like a damn near gun.
It's like an arrow gun.
A crossbow can go through an engine block.
Not a dog, though.
Well, after a while, it kind of peters out.
They say they were doing target practice with their crossbow in their yard on Denise Road in Greece.
Is that legal?
There's no way.
When one of the arrows missed the target and the dog and its owner walked into the path of the arrow.
Man, worst luck ever.
Seriously.
I do want to say, the authorities say they did not mean to hit the dog. They were just being reckless. Despite that, both of them are arrested. They're going to face charges. An investigation is ongoing. The pair have an upcoming court date. So to answer your first question about is it legal to shoot a crossbow in a neighborhood, we have had this argument on the show before. There are some people who seem to believe that crossbows and bow and arrow are firearms.
Well, that crossbow definitely is. It's got a trigger on it.
But it doesn't have gunpowder.
No, but it's like
no fire involved.
But it's super high-powered arrow.
We've had this discussion before. There are people who seem to believe that crossbows are firearms, and that means they can't be discharged inside most town
is a good thing.
Town limits. And there are people who believe that is not the case, and because there's no fire involved in firepower or firearm, that it's legal to shoot your bow and arrow or crossbow in the town that you live.
But there's got to be like an actual law.
Look, what do you want from me?
I'm trying to figure out, did they get arrested for being reckless and hitting a dog, or for firing the crossbow off just in general?
Okay, so the 56-year-old man and the woman were charged with reckless endangerment in the first degree. The woman was also charged with criminal mischief. It seems that she was the one who shot the arrow that injured the dog.
So she pulled the trigger.
That's what it sounds like, yes. Right. 252 WCMF. Let's start the argument again. Let's talk to Pete. Hey, Petey, you're on CMF. What's up, buddy?
Hey, not much. Hey, before I get to my point, I see that you're as good as catching baseballs as you are at where they whining.
You got that? Because it would have been kind of funny if it was smooth, but you screwed it up, Pete. It sounds like you're as good as making a punchline as I am as good as catching foul balls. But you were saying, Petey.
Yeah, so the law is, and they treat crossbows, they actually consider crossbows a firearm in New York State, according to DEC there. So it has to be 500 feet from any dwelling, and regular bows are 250 feet.
All right, so 500 feet from any dwelling, I am allowed to shoot a crossbow.
Yes.
Okay.
I still don't even like that rule.
I don't even like that.
That's not that close. I mean, that's still pretty close.
And I mean, there aren't a lot of places in Greece where you have a lot of, space to do that, I would imagine.
That would be the designation of 500 feet, right? That means like almost everywhere in Greece would be within 500 feet of a dwelling. Okay, so you're saying it's not legal, Petey. What they were doing was illegal.
Well, they shot a dog.
Well, no, but...
No, let's say
just in general, shooting it.
Shooting a crossbow, period.
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I'm not trying to argue you should be able to shoot dogs with crossbows. Worst politician promise ever. I'm for crossbows. I'm anti-dog. I'm pro-arrowing dog. Pete, thanks for the call, buddy. Have a good rest of the day. 252 WCMF. Jeff's here now. Hey, Jeff, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I think the previous caller had some misinformation.
Say, here we go.
Unless the local ordinance. But according to the DEC, all the hunting regulations and everything, A regular bow and arrow is 150 feet from any structure. A crossbow is 200 feet, and a rifle or a shotgun or a pistol is 500 feet.
Okay.
That's how far away you got to be. And I think a lot of local ordinances prohibit all of them from being in a residential area.
Okay.
Unless you got that distance.
Okay.
So,
all right, Jeff.
that's the skinny.
All right. Thank you for the skinny, Jeff. I really appreciate it. It never ceases to amaze me.
Yes.
How off everybody who participates in outdoor stuff is when it comes to what they think they know.
More calls are coming in.
But they say it with such authority, like they know what they're talking about.
And by the way, we don't know which one's right, which one's wrong, if anybody's right? But now, for the rest of this show, we're going to get calls all day. No, it turns out 75 feet crossbow, 150 feet fire hose.
Because I'm not really sure how close my neighbor is.
From your house?
Right. Like if my neighbor was in the backyard, I don't know if he's close enough or not. Let's say he was teaching his kid how to shoot a bow and arrow on a little target.
Okay.
Right, yeah, a little kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the kid distance? Can a little kid be a little closer to your house?
I don't know.
With his little arm pulling back the bow?
But the crossbow would use a trigger.
Well, I don't want no kid shooting no crossbow.
252 WCMF. Okay, so first of all, as we talk about these two people, both, again, grown-ass people in their 40s and 50s who accidentally shot a dog with a crossbow. Crossbow practice at 10 a.m. on a Saturday in your backyard in Greece. And by the way, this is not some remote part of the country in Greece. Denise Road, where this allegedly happened,
tight.
It connects Dewey Ave with the Genesee River. That's straight up suburban crossbow.
Yeah,
right?
you know this has to drive their neighbors insane.
Well, maybe they didn't know until now.
I would think you'd know.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And by the way, you're not good at it.
No.
Like,
fair point.
You need to go. You need to go to crossbow school.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question, and this is going to be hard for you, but I'm going to need an honest answer.
I'm going to be straight up.
But before we get there, again, 252 WCMF with this man and woman being charged after this dog was hit accidentally with a crossbow arrow when they missed a target. The woman, it seems, was the one that took the shot. Tim's got an actually really good question. Hey, Timmy, you're on CMF. What's up, buddy?
Hey, I was just wondering, if it's a husband and wife, and the wife's the one that actually pulled the trigger, as a husband, do you take the fall for that? Or do you just watch your wife go down and shooting a dog?
It's a good question.
Yeah, because what if you encouraged her to do it?
Like, if she's a bad shot, that's on her, but at the same time, like, you should have known kind of thing?
So, like, I'm trying to figure out what would be worse, because, like, now, here's the thing, Tim. If I accidentally hit that guy in the leg, or my wife accidentally hit that guy in the leg, I would take the fall for that. That was me. I don't care. But I don't know if I want to take the fall for hitting the dog in the abdomen with an arrow, Tim.
I feel like people are going to come at you more for hitting a dog than a human.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're taking the fall for the dog. I hit Jed. That was an accident. The dog, though. The dog.
Sorry, honey. This is on you. So, good luck.
Tim, thanks for the call. Would you take the fall for your wife if she accidentally hit a dog with a bow and arrow?
You'd have to, but I don't want to.
No, you don't. You don't have to do nothing.
You'd have to.
She doesn't have any arrows left. They're in the dog. Kimmy, would you expect your husband to take the fall for you on this?
If he was like, just try it, come on, aim for it. Or you know what I mean? Like if it was like something like I really could care less about, but like he talked me into it, absolutely, you better take the fall for this.
I love these women. Because
if I took it out of his hands, I'm like, let me try. I got a better shot than you, and I missed. Sure, obviously, I'm not expecting him to take the fall, but if this was your idea, you better take the fall.
Tommy, how many things of our wives in the history of wifedom demanded we do that went wrong, where they were like, what did you do? Right?
Everything.
It's immediately on us. But Kimmy, well, you told me to do it, so you shot the dog actually in real life. All right.
Yeah.
So again, to recap the details of the story before I ask you this question. A man in his 50s and a woman in her late or mid-40s have been arrested after, while doing target practice, according to police, with a crossbow in their backyard on Denise Road in Greece, accidentally hit a dog in the abdomen that was walking through a park with its owner after one of the arrows missed the target. The dog we don't know about. He was taken into surgery, had to go all the way to Niagara Falls for it. Tommy?
Yeah.
You take your pooch out for walks all the time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's the scenario. You have a choice.
All right.
You can bring home the dog with an arrow in its abdomen like this story. Or you can take that arrow yourself in the calf muscle.
So I got to take the bullet like I'm the Secret Service for the dog.
It's for some reason, it's right before it happens, an angel comes down.
So there's like a move I can move.
Yes.
Well,
somebody's getting hit with this crossbow.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't know what's coming, but either you are going to take it in the calf or the dog's going to take it in the abdomen. What do you choose?
Well, we have a little dog. Our dog would be dead.
No, we don't know. It's going to be the same
Bro,
situation.
she ain't got much abdomen.
She ain't got much abdomen.
She's a little thing.
Okay.
Oh, man, I got to take an arrow for this dog that's going to die in 7 or 8 years?
You don't have to do nothing.
You
I'm
have
asking.
to.
No, look, you ain't taking it. The sentence, you can say you take it. The fact that you said it like that means you ain't taking that arrow.
No, you know how I feel about dogs. I think I would take it for the dog. I don't want to do it, but I think I would take it over. I would take it for the dog over a lot of people.
That's fair.
All right. No,
we got some fair weather buddies.
Uh-huh.
Let's say I'm out with one of our fair weather buddies, and that same angel comes down. He goes, all right, Tommy, Vinny gets it in the gut. Are you getting a calf?
You're going to take it? You're going to let Vinny take it in the gut?
Vinny's been eating good. It's a big gut.
You have little calves, too.
Yeah, I do have little calves. So I'm going to say Vinny gets the quill.
But you take it for the dog.
Yes.
All right, Kimmy, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
But it ain't you.
Oh.
Your husband's walking your dog, Arnie.
Yeah.
The dog takes it in the abdomen, or your husband, who works as a firefighter, takes an arrow in the calf muscle. Who gets the arrow?
My husband.
You won't even want to think about it?
Nope.
I even painted you a financial scenario here.
I'm not letting my dog take it.
Okay. Would you take it?
Yeah.
Would you
for my dog?
Would you be upset if your husband chose you over the dog?
No, I would understand.
My ass.
No, because I think we're on the same page. You save the dog.
No, but again, there's no guarantee the dog will die.
Yeah, but
and you can go get a new dog that looks just like your dog.
You'd take it for your dog too.
I know.
He wouldn't. All the arguments he's making, he's just trying to sound like a good guy on the radio. He would not take that arrow. He would let the dog. He would pick up the dog like a kebab with the arrow after it went
I
in.
can't imagine what an arrow in my calf would feel like.
Seriously.
Like.
Well, you don't know it's coming, so it's a surprise.
Yeah, it's a horrible one.
Well, no, because the angel told you it's coming. So
yeah.
In our hypothetical.
Right, well, that makes it worse.
Angel of arrow scenario.
And I don't know how much that F's with your calf muscle for the rest of your life.
That's what I mean.
A lot.
Do I have to walk around with a gimp?
Is there going to be a big chunk of your leg missing when
no,
they go
but
to take the thing out?
There's nothing worse than because I'm an old man.
Yeah.
And there's nothing worse to see an old man with limp.
What are you talking
Like
about?
a limping old man looks pathetic.
Well, at least you have a story. Like I got hit with an arrow.
Yeah,
you don't
that's
have
true.
To
you have an
finish that.
excuse.
No, but people don't know that when I'm going into Wegmans limping.
You wear a T-shirt that says "I was hit with an arrow." That's why I walk like this.
Yeah, I don't want to be gimpy
It's not
old
like you're
man.
running around anymore, anyways.
I like to have a nice walk.
Okay.
A nice walk? You think that matters?
Well, it does at my age.
Hey, you see that old man? He's got a nice walk, a nice American walk.
Yeah, I can't get out of the couch anymore. Food don't taste
I've
the
seen
same.
you get out of that chair.
I struggle.
Wait, food? Oh, I thought you meant food wouldn't taste the same after you took an arrow to the calf.
Sometimes, after you get injured like that, things change in your body.
All right, so just admit then you'd let the dog take the arrow.
I'd have to. No, I couldn't. I couldn't live with myself.
All right, one more question.
And I can't imagine coming home with the dog.
Yeah.
Running home with the dog.
Yeah.
With the arrow. My wife's gonna flip out. We gotta drive to the vet, and then, like you said, have her airlifted. What's that gonna cost us?
Well, I don't think they airlifted. I think they just drove the
drove.
dog to the hospital.
I would
got
imagine.
one more question for you. Because I asked Kimmy, if your husband was walking the dog, who would you want to take the arrow? All right, so hypothetical.
All right.
Your wife is taking the dog for a walk by herself.
All right.
Angel appears to you again.
Wait,
Angel of
to me.
arrows.
Yeah, but I'm not on this walk.
No. You're at home. He goes, this has to happen. This has to happen. I'm sorry. The dog takes an arrow to the abdomen. Your wife takes an arrow to the calf.
Okay.
What do you choose?
I think my wife would be so traumatized by the dog being hit by the arrow that she's got to get it in the leg.
You would.
And I'm doing it for her. I'm doing it for her. Because I think that seeing her dog, because my wife is so attached to that dog that she would do anything to save that dog.
You think your wife would choose herself too?
Oh yeah, yeah. I think she would if I'm not there. I mean, she would throw me first in front of the dog, but and I would say I want her to get the arrow in the leg, and I'm doing it for her own good.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't be traumatized by seeing little Lily bleeding out, walking around the goddamn college. They probably charge you for that. Yeah, that's the way it had to go.
You heard it here first in the break room.
Hey,
Tommy
sometimes
wants his wife to get hit with a bow and arrow.
Sometimes you got to make tough decisions in the world.
All right, let's take a break. This was a very popular style in the 80s and 90s here in the greater Rochester area.
Like clothes?
Yeah, and it's not even a clothes thing. It's a foot thing, and it's all because of one specific business. And I don't even know why, for whatever reason, these employees wear this look. But because all Gen Zers and Gen Alpha, the youngest generation, are taking the worst looks we've ever had from the past and bringing them all back.
Okay.
This is now popular again. And we'll get into it. Tell you what it is next here in the break room on CMF. All right, there was a point in the history of Rochester where you knew someone worked at this place if these two things were on their feet at the same time.
Oh, all right.
And it doesn't seem there's any rhyme or reason unless there's people listening that worked here that can tell us why this was the case. But besides that.
So it's old school.
I mean, yeah.
Making a comeback?
And it's like the worst look again. It's like these kids are just picking the worst things from our past and bringing them all back. You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF. Breaking news.
What happened?
For Gen Z and what's known as Gen Alpha. That would be like high school kids now. Socks and sandals are back.
Why?
I don't know.
You're not a German tourist.
I just kind of always assumed that if you were a socks and sandals person, you were like a socks and sandals person for life. And did high school kids ever give up the socks and sandals look? Because I remember especially like going to and from like practice and things like that, kids would have the socks and sandals on.
That's different because if I'm wearing my sports socks, I'm just taking off my cleats, throwing my sandals on and going home.
But I just kind of thought that was just always a young person thing.
1 in 4 young adults, and they count that as people under 30, say they rock only socks and sandals.
And why? Because
they don't say why.
Because I'm saying, why would why put on a sock to shove it into an open shoe?
I'm with you.
Keep your feet warm.
No, but then why
Then
wear
put
sandals?
on a shoe.
Yeah,
that's what a shoe
easy
does.
To take on and off. I think it's more convenient.
Skechers makes a shoe called Step-ins.
Yeah. Yeah,
but Skechers are for old people.
Not like socks and sandals.
Yeah.
Not like Birkenstocks.
But you look like a Birkenstock. I don't know how they ever
Those
thought.
are, everywhere.
Yeah, that's what this was.
The world's ugliest shoe.
So I just want to be clear. Like, these are tube socks going in Birkenstocks. Like, that's what we're talking about here. Like, Nike tube socks that go into a Birkenstock for 1 in 4 people under 30 say that's how they wear their
it's a ugly. How are you getting laid? How are you getting any
By
action?
somebody else who also wears socks and sandals?
You're going to have sweaty feet while you're doing it. I'm just saying.
You're attracted to a chick that's dressed like that, or a dude?
But you're weird though because you don't like sandals.
No,
I would think this helps your argument because you don't like to see toes.
I don't. Like it was.
So at least like gross feet are covered up. While they're
all right,
in
I'll
the
give
sandals.
you that because I just went to Chicago over the weekend, and one thing that creeps me the f out is when I see people at the airport in sandals. And you're gonna have to take those sandals off,
and they always do.
You have to.
No, but I mean, like people who go barefoot in an airport love to hang their feet out there.
Yeah, and
like
it's
they take off their
gross.
sandals, they put them up on the other chairs.
I saw a dude trucking into the bathroom on the flight. No shoe.
No.
Why take off the sandals?
I have no idea, but I don't know if he had shoe sock. I don't know what the situation was. But here goes feet into the bathroom, man.
Gross.
It just creeps me the F out. Like, how can you do that?
I'm with you. But see, this has a weird tie to Rochester. Again, as we tell you that 1 in 4 young people.
Oh, yeah. What was the gig?
Adults under 30 are wearing socks with sandals. This was the
old those socks.
This was the old Kodak look.
Oh, it was?
Kodakers would wear socks with sandals.
Oh.
I don't know why, because they were just nerds.
I have no idea. I don't know if it was a rule or something that if you worked at Kodak and you wanted to wear sandals, you had to have socks on. I don't know what the deal was.
Cover your toes.
But for the longest time, like the joke here in Rochester was the socks with sandals was a Kodaker.
I did not know that.
And I've been dying to know 252 WCMF, now that this has come back up, why that was the case. Was that like a company policy? Was that just like a style and everyone kind of went with it? Was it a nerd thing?
Yeah.
It drive me nuts, Kimmy, because your dad worked at Kodak for a little while.
Yeah, my dad was never a sandals guy, though.
Okay.
I don't really remember him having sandals.
Yeah, the Mandel look is gross.
Mandel, shut up.
The old man foot.
Old guys love sandals right now. Like those reef sandals, haven't gone.
I mean,
just
he
done
uses them, but usually, like, my dad usually only uses them when he's, like, going, like, to a pool or something,
My dad's a big sandal guy. Sandals 24/7.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, buddy.
Oh, he's like that Jimmy Buffett?
I don't know. I don't think he's ever listened to a Jimmy Buffett song in his life. But, I mean, it's the path of least resistance.
Yes.
So that's where my old man's going. No, like, you can tweet at me because we're running late here. At Duffy on WCMF. You can find me on Instagram at Duffy on WCMF. Why, if you know, did the Kodakers wear socks with sandals? Wait my whole life for the
So it
answer.
could have been a corporate thing.
But why let them wear sandals?
Oh, that's
like if
true.
you're gonna make them wear socks, why let them wear sandals in the first place?
Unless
right?
it was just a look.
Okay.
I remember. I mean, it was kind of a look.
Back in the late '80s, early '90s.
Kinda. It was a sad look.
mean, that's what the Deadheads were.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that's what I have in my
it was like a
head.
Jerry Garcia thing.
Yeah, did a lot of Deadheads work at Kodak? Is that why it all went under? All right, let's take a break. Speaking of Deadheads, I mean, look, man, you can disconnect, tune in, drop out, man.
What's going on?
Or vice versa. Well, maybe not so much a music festival or taking LSD, but if you don't want to be part of society, you don't have to anymore.
Just drop out.
Well, yeah, man. There are places you can go. In fact, here in the state of New York, where you can live life the way you want to with very few, if any, people bothering you. The question is, one, how easy would it be to do it? And two, is this something that would save me money or cost me a freaking fortune?
Oh.
We'll get into it next here in the break room on 96.5 WCMF. How'd you like to get away from it all?
That's everybody's dream.
Be beholden to nothing and no one.
Where is this paradise you speak of?
Not have to deal with a single person that you don't want to. Believe it or not, there are places close to Rochester where you can pull this off.
Close.
In fact, some folks that can hear us are doing that exact thing right now.
Where are they at?
I'm going to tell you.
Right.
The question, however, if you were to do this, is the stress and the struggle of what you had to do to get there be worth what you got out of it?
Oh.
You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF. Just after 9:30-ish, we are going to get into a screaming argument about French fries. I promise you.
Okay.
I promise you. And we'll get to it just after 9:30 here in the break room on CMF. Story in the DNC late last week. Quote, if you want to live off the grid, head to these New York counties.
Oh.
Yep. They list Lewis County, which is in the northwest part of New York, touching the Adirondacks.
Okay, so you're up there.
Yep, they list Hamilton County, which is entirely in the Adirondacks. And they list Delaware County, which, aptly named, is on the Delaware River right across from Pennsylvania. So right on the border there.
All right.
And we'll get back to those three places in just a second. But before we get to what they offer you, we have to define what living off the grid is.
Yeah, how much off the grid we doing?
Well, that's just it. Kimmy, could you Google if there's an official definition of living off the grid? Because when I hear living off the grid, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm thinking you're living without plug-ins to electricity, water, and gas.
Oh, you're talking like straight up, like Amish.
Well, that's off the... No, well, you can still have stuff, just not be plugged into electricity, water, and gas.
So how am I living?
You would have to provide all of that stuff for yourself.
So,
like chop wood and...
No.
Well, if I got no heat, how am I getting heat?
It says being off the grid means not being physically hooked up to utilities by wires, pipes, or cables.
Okay.
People who live off the grid survive by hunting, farming, and foraging.
So it's like this 1800s.
All right, there's a couple of ways you can do it. Yes, to your point.
How am I doing it?
To your point,
Frontier boy.
You could chop wood for heat and read by candlelight. You could do it that way. You could also pay for services to bring you water, propane to heat the house. You could buy a generator and use electricity when you need it that way. There are also folks who collect rainwater and have like filtration systems they use to have drinking and showering water.
This would suck.
And there are people that use solar to get their
They do
electricity.
list that in there too.
Right?
Sun or wind.
All right.
But are any of those options that aren't living, chopping wood, and like bathing in a creek, is that cheating living off the grid? 252-WCMF, 252-9263? Because like your mind didn't even go to the idea of having a generator or propane.
No, I thought that was cheating.
Okay. So you would see that as cheating. To you, living off the grid is just foraging.
I thought it'd
chopping
be
wood.
like how you lived in the 1800s.
Okay. Kimmy, do you see that other stuff as cheating?
No, I mean, you're still using your own resources, I guess, to do it.
Well, not really. You didn't build the generator.
Right, but I'm saying like you're not hooked up to like
You didn't suck your own propane.
You're not hooked up to anything. Like you're still powering it yourself.
Well, what do you? If you're off the grid, why do you need a generator? What are you plugging in?
Well, your No, you could have electricity and be off the grid. You're off of the grid, the electrical grid. That's
all
what
right,
the grid
but
is.
I thought but you're also not watching TV. You don't have a cell phone.
Oh, you can do all that. I mean, you're just not on the grid.
Oh, I thought you had.
No, the grid refers to a physical grid, like the grid of the heat or the grid of the electricity.
The
Now I
electrical
sound
grid.
dumb. Yeah.
All right.
I think that's what it refers to.
Okay, I thought the other way.
Okay, so here is my question.
All right, but all that would still be inconvenient.
252-WCMF, 252-9263. I think, I agree with you. It would be inconvenient, but there are people who are looking for this experience. And when it comes to the benefits of
I think it's called poor. There's places you could live. There's countries that do this every day. They don't seem happy.
When it comes to living off the grid, is it less expensive?
Well, it's got to be. What are you spending money on?
Well, no, let's say you wanted to go the generator route or the propane. Like, does a generator or over 10 years cost more or less than what RG&E would cost me? Would propane delivered to a tank in my backyard be more or less expensive than RG&E over 10 years, right? Would the solar panels save me money based on how much I had to put them in and use them over 10 years than, like, being hooked up to the grid?
And it's not going to be... I'm guessing, like, if you get, like, solar and all that, even if you're saving money, like, it wouldn't be the same. Like, you probably don't get, like, really hot water when you want it.
What are you basing that on, though?
Because, like, sometimes the solar panels got to have the sun
Yeah,
to
but
work.
most people don't take 3 showers a day.
Well, even if I took one, I want one good one.
I'm guessing
And
like
I need
you just...
Here's another thing. I need water pressure.
Okay.
All right, how am I getting water pressure?
That's what I mean. Like some people just maybe
with
they
your
don't
rain bucket?
You use gravity.
They just they live with less. They
Yeah,
live
but I don't
with-
want to live with less. I'm an American.
Well, I know you don't, but some people maybe it doesn't bother them.
This is why other countries hate us. You realize that, right?
You're not a camper. You don't like
that
to do anything
sentence.
like that. So I mean, there are people that enjoy,
being grimy. Yes, editing, man. I always constantly feel grimy.
Why? You're still living in a house.
My clothes ain't as clean. I gotta have my tide. I gotta have my. How you washing your clothes?
Okay, look, I'm not arguing for living off the grid. I'm asking the people that do, what is the benefit? Do you want it? Do you do it to save money? Do you do it because you just want to disconnect from the world? Is that the main benefit people
World's
are getting?
By the way, if you live off the grid, so you can't do any kind of grocery shopping. You're just
Well, no,
completely.
you can. No, okay, again.
Right. I
You're
mean,
just
I
off the
think Tommy's
electrical
thinking
grid.
like. You don't have products. Like you can't purchase anything.
Yeah, you're not like making your own soap out of fat you're pulling out of your stomach, which I wouldn't recommend. That probably sounds like it hurts.
And by the way, how do women do it?
What do you mean?
For their hygiene down there, man.
Again, you still can shower and bathe, and
But you
got to
get that. You got to get that coochie clean, man. It can't. Nothing worse than country coochie.
Are you talking about frontier coochie?
Frontier coochie. I don't want to know,
That coochie's got dysentery.
bro. I don't know how those guys did it back then.
252 WCMF 252-9263. A headline in the DNC talks about all of the best counties in New York to live off the grid, and as we're defining what living off the grid is and why people would want to live off the grid. Okay, so
we are so far on the grid, we can't even define what it's like to live off the grid.
yeah, and you're right. It's supposed to be all American. All right, so I'm
Ma's
gathering.
up in the cottage knitting her tampons on a loom.
I'm gathering, based on your reaction, you would not consider living off the
No,
grid.
man. I like everything nice.
Kimmy?
Yeah.
Is this something that appeals to you in any way?
No.
Not at all.
And you're dressed for it.
No,
That's off the grid.
Shut up. I hate camping. I hate anything that isn't like living in the four walls of a house. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I need basic things.
We got buddies that camp, and they're not even like rugged dudes, man. And they do that soft ass like music fest camping, and it looks miserable.
I agree with you. But, I mean, the benefits to, like, actually living off the grid, you wouldn't have to see a single person if you didn't want
But
to.
after a while, that would get to you.
Okay.
Like, I understand, but like
You
total
should see people. I don't want to know what goes through your head when you're that removed from society.
Oh, they end up on breaking news.
But you would be able to do whatever you wanted, completely undisturbed.
No, because
You would.
Yeah, but
To-
think
but
about
the-
you
but to-
unlimited.
You unlimited.
yes, I want. Yeah, like your options also go way down. Like you can do what you want, but like, what are you gonna do today?
What are you going to do that would require you couldn't do living off the grid? What do you want to do?
Anything. I want to travel.
Okay, well, get in your car and drive to somewhere to travel.
Well, how am I getting the gas? I got to do like.
You fill your gas tank up, and then you just make sure you have enough gas to get to the gas station the next time. Again, you're not living on like the top of Mount Picchu. How do you say that?
Machu Picchu?
Thank you.
No, but you are living isolated.
Yes.
I would think like for a weekend it might be fun, but if that's like your life, I think it would drive you crazy. Especially if you're coming from people like me and you that have always just been full of like chemicals. Like I've been enjoying chemically induced food for my entire life.
Again.
And I like all my chemicals around me. And I think I would be very miserable in a quick period.
You'd be miserable without your chemicals.
Yes.
Okay. 252 WCMF. Let's talk to Rammer. He's going to help us out here. Hey, Rammer, what's up, buddy?
Good. Hey, Tommy, you know, I sometimes I just feel for your coworkers because you're literally clueless on some things.
Straighten me out.
You
there,
are you're a fan of boating, right?
Casual fan, yeah.
All right, but you watch the show Below Deck, right?
Hmm?
So pick a ship. Would you choose to live on one of those ships if you could?
Well, yeah, because they go to all the fancy places.
Congratulations, you're now off the grid, you dumb.
Well, yeah, but that's a nice one.
Listen, off the grid doesn't mean you can't buy soap or have food delivered. It just means you're not connected to the public or private utilities that you would use to live your life.
But why would you do that? Like, that's one of the things that makes this country so great is that we have this unbelievable infrastructure that everybody can enjoy.
In most places, yeah.
Right. But more than most other countries.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
Why would you? Hey, great thing we've done. I don't want to do that, man.
You mean like voting?
Yes, vote.
Well,
no, you idiot! Like you just made the same argument that people. Go ahead, Brammer.
Or like you might prefer living in the country where you have to have a well because there are no utilities.
Man, well water blows, man. I'm not drinking your country ass water.
Well, okay, so I mean, septic system in case you don't have sewers, and I mean, today with solar panels, wind power, I mean, batteries. You got the the Elon Musk power wall. I mean, it's easy and it's not complicated, but again, it's you need to know what off the grid means, which doesn't mean you don't have soap and toilet paper, okay?
All right. Thank you, Rammer. Thank you. I'm glad he straightened you out.
Right. So I don't wash my ass in a creek.
Okay. So going back to the actual story that kicked off this conversation, it took us 13 minutes to explain to Tommy what living off the grid was.
I'm still not really sure.
All right, so going back to the counties that were named in this DNC article, and again, it is the counties in New York State where it's you could live off the grid. So they are remote. For example, Lewis County, which, by the way, is the state largest producer of maple syrup.
Oh, syrup country.
It only has 26,500 residents. Compare that to 750,000 in Monroe County.
So this is really sparse.
Yeah, it's a 20th of the population of Monroe County.
And it's up in the mountains.
This is the one that touches the Adirondacks. Hamilton County, which is the one entirely in the Adirondacks, only has a population density of 3 people per square mile. Like, no one lives there.
That creeps me out.
It's so remote.
How remote is it?
The entire county is without a traffic light.
Wow.
Right.
Look at that.
There is not a traffic light in Hamilton County, New York, in the Adirondacks. So if you
that's country.
If you wanted to get away from the world and live off the grid, these are the places
By the way,
to go.
where's the nearest hospital?
I was just going to say, what happens when you need help?
It's a good question. I don't know. Hopefully you're healthy.
No, but like
you don't
things,
have any major
but you can
accidents.
hurt yourself living out in the country, like living in the mountains. Like,
Sure.
Right.
Well, I would learn first aid.
Yeah, but let's say first aid ain't gonna cut it.
Okay, second
because
aid,
you
then learn second aid.
You tangle with a bear in the creek.
No, but if you tangle with a bear in the creek, you're probably going to die before you make it to this hospital. Strong. Like, how much time you need to get there. I'm not advocating for living off the grid. I'm just trying to figure out, like, you don't even consider the benefits that some people see in it.
Oh, what about this, too?
What's that? See, he's not even listening.
No, I got you.
Yeah. What about this, though?
You got some hillbilly people up that way.
3 people per square mile.
No, did you see Deliverance? They got some weird-ass hillbillies up there with some hillbilly justice.
It would suck if you moved so far to be off the grid and, like, your one neighbor sucks.
Yeah, you're...
Yeah, but they could be half a mile
I
away.
moved here to get away from people, and somebody decides to also live off the grid, like a half mile down the road.
And I can hear his
annoying.
banjo at night.
What would be your first thought if someone in your life said they wanted to make this move? They wanted to live their life this way.
You're an idiot. I think you're a fool.
Kimmy, this has become somewhat trendy with the Gen Z crowd over the last couple of years. Shipping container homes have become popular, buying space.
I don't even. Do you consider that off the grid? Like,
Yeah,
I still
you're living
feel like
in a container.
No, I mean, I still feel like those people are connected to things. They've downsized a lot of the things that people have. Not so much like they live in complete isolation.
No, I've seen these videos on social media that have been trending of these kids in their mid-20s to early 30s that are buying these shipping containers, buying remote land, and living off the grid that way. There are also companies right now that are doing what Sears did in the early 1900s. They will sell you homes you can build yourself. It essentially comes in a box.
Like a kit.
I think they have them on Amazon and like Home Depot. I've seen ads for them.
I mean, in fact, right now you can go on Etsy. It's like eBay for hipsters.
Yeah.
And you can buy blueprints for a tiny home.
Yeah.
That you can build yourself.
Okay.
And like we talked about the economics of it earlier, maybe this is the only way some people can afford a place of their own.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but it's a box that was on a ship full of shoes. You're not really grabbing the American dream by the balls.
You'd be surprised what some people do to those things. I mean, they look nice.
Those are the ones that look nice that they show you on Instagram.
Yeah.
I want to see the actual busted one these Gunthers
That's
live
just
in.
somebody living in a shipping container.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Okay, but again,
Sitting on a milk crate.
I'm gonna go off on your generation right now.
You guys used it all up.
Oh, you did, but that's not what I'm going to go off on. It despises me.
Despises you?
When idiot, it makes me, yes, I despise you.
I loathe you.
I can't even think straight. That's
what did my
angry.
generation do but give you everything?
I'm not even going to get mad at you over that stupid face.
It is younger people trying to find a solution.
Thank you. You took everything.
Mm-hmm.
You left nothing for anybody else.
That's America, baby.
What do they say? Weak men make tough times. As I look at this weak man. And then when, to Kimmy's point, this generation that is kind of stuck in a situation here tries to find their piece of the American dream, you criticize them for it. And I'm not advocating for off the grid living. I'm talking like these houses coming out of boxes. This is what people did between World War I and the Korean War. Like those Sears homes, I just watched a video about this last month.
What's that?
They still exist across the country. They still are standing.
Okay.
There's a bunch of them.
Well, that's when America knew how to build something.
Yeah, Sears out of a box. You're like eating fear. Well, just kids do what I do. You know, like I don't have a high school education, and I got back it into like you have no high school.
You take advantage of the American dream. Listen, I understand.
Did you do that with a Ford accent?
I understand.
What are you doing?
That I am the last generation that will experience a lifetime of avocados. My generation will eat all the avocados. Your daughters will not have avocados.
There won't be any left.
No,
I'm sorry.
We're eating all the avocados.
Okay.
All right, what happened?
We got people writing us about living off the grid. Leanne writes us, we have an off-grid cabin an hour from Rochester. No cell, no running water or electricity. We chop wood and use propane tanks for heat, solar and generators, some lights, even AC if it gets too hot. We pump water from a tank. We pump water to tank from a stream, filter and use RV propane shower, blah, 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 blah. Has hot and pressure. And the town is 15 minutes away, so we can go shopping, go to a bar, socialize. You bring a tank of water from home for drinking. Disconnecting is a huge mental health reflex.
Can you imagine being around with that rough-handed woman?
Got a
rough-handed woman.
I get doing that for a getaway. Like I get, wanting to mix it up every now and then. It was just kind of the same concept as like, going camping or something. I don't get
camping sucks so hard.
I don't get living that way, like living your actual day-to-day life.
Right. Pumping water?
Well, how do you make money? Like, what do you do for a living where you can be that disconnected?
Maybe you can work remotely. I mean, there are
right, but can you have internet if you're off the grid?
Now you sound like Tommy.
I'm asking.
Yes, you can have internet.
I kind of thought like people lived off the grid to avoid those kind of things.
Right.
Well, but I mean, if it's the way you make your money, and look, I mean, there have been people that have lived off the grid pre-internet and somehow found a way to make it work.
So you don't mock these people.
I understand it.
No, I asked you a question, and that ain't the answer. Because if I came in here with a flip phone and I said, I don't want to be on the internet, I don't need all this texting, I don't need the government getting all my information, you would crush me. These are just flip phone fazzucks that are living in goddamn containers.
All right.
It's the same person.
If the reason you wanted to live off the grid was so the government couldn't track your movements, yes.
But that is the automatic assumption when I hear somebody living off the grid.
And maybe that, yeah, you're right. But I also understand the idea of getting away from everything, not having to interact with people if you don't want to. Look, okay, let me put it this way. Going to the idea of what you think about someone doing this, like the question I had asked you before. Like, there's part of my brain that thinks of like great writers who isolated themselves, like Salinger, like Hunter Thompson,
kind of
right?
as a reset.
Yeah, and that feels cool. Like that's like, oh man, like look at what their minds were able to accomplish when they just isolated themselves. And then you think of like not so cool guys like Ted Kaczynski, like the Unabomber, and that guy's not cool.
But if you do a deep dive on these great writers that you speak of.
Well, I mean, I use writing.
They were not happy people either. Like a lot of their lives didn't end so great either, being isolated weirdos.
I understand, but sometimes being an isolated weirdo is better than being a weirdo around people.
All right.
Right?
Okay. But then Kimmy goes, sometimes being alone with just your thoughts ain't the greatest thing in the world.
Where that takes you.
I understand, but look at the art that these people created. And I use those two guys as an example. But Emily Dickinson, didn't she live by herself forever and ever and ever and ever?
But she was married.
Who did? Just her husband forever and ever and ever? I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. No, I don't know. Like, maybe, just maybe, we're all not brilliant, Because there's too much noise going on.
Okay.
We're too distracted.
Yes, I think that the safest way to get coherent, brilliant thought from a 50-year-old man is to lock him with only his own thoughts in an echo chamber that he...
And here comes the brilliant art.
That's a bad idea. I don't know what the answer is. I don't want to do it. I get the draw of it. I don't know.
I mean, it seems like you're going backwards.
No, yes, that's the draw of it. Yes.
I get the draw of it for a short period of time.
Okay. All right, let's all take a break. You could either
go enjoy your murky water.
You could live off the grid like an idiot, or you could be plugged in and listen to three people have a screaming argument about French fries.
Yes.
Which is what we're going to do next here in the break room on CMF. This was a bad idea.
What happened?
From the Democrat and Chronicle. Well, I mean, I guess the idea of it wasn't a bad idea.
It's making bad decisions. I thought they were on fire right now.
The execution of it was a bad idea because we're about to have a screaming argument about French fries. You're hanging out in the break room. Rochester's Classic Rock 96.5. WCMF over the weekend. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, the Democrat and Chronicle put out an article, and it says, Who makes Rochester's best fries?
Okay.
The DNC did a poll, and one place specifically ran away with the best fries in Rochester.
Oh, crushed it, huh?
Tommy, would you like to try and take a guess who that was?
It would have to be a local joint.
Yes, thank you.
That makes delicious French fry.
Who would that be?
I would have to go with your like a Bill Gray's or something like that.
You get one guess. All right, so Bill Gray's?
I go with Bill Gray's.
Incorrect. Kimmy, would
Home
you
of
like
the Buffalo
Well,
Bills.
I'm trying to think of like what the favorite type or style of French fry would be.
What the favorite style is?
Well, yeah,
And I do feel like we're a big crinkle cut fry town, just based on the burger joints around here. So I was actually going to say something like Bill Gray's too. Maybe.
Well, you just guessed the one that was wrong? You don't want to take another
No,
guess?
but I'm saying that's what I was gonna guess.
I was going to say
You gotta give yourself a buzzer.
What about like a Shaler's?
Okay, no.
All right.
Hands down, runaway champion, the number one fries voted by the readers of the DNC was Petite Poutinerie.
Oh yeah, those are the fancy fries.
Wait, those are French fries.
No, they're Canadian.
Well, they are.
All fries are French.
No, but
it's like
a
the Canadian
French
style. Yeah.
Foreign. That's foreign fry. I won't eat foreign fry on American soil.
So it started as Le Petit Poutine food truck in 2011.
But that's like gravy fries.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking just straight up fry, nothing on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have a brick and mortar restaurant now where you can go get their stuff.
What's it
opened
called,
in 2022. It's called Petite Poutinerie.
Oh.
By the way, even without the stuff on top of it, their fries are phenomenal.
Okay.
Like their fries are straight up amazing. In fact, Kimmy and I, one of the earliest things
This
we
is
did
a
working
long
together.
time ago.
Yeah, we went down to the art gallery and got Le Petit Poutinerie.
Oh, look at you two.
I ran into a girl I know.
I don't remember this.
Okay, never mind that. In that case,
Oh, Poutine Tina?
Poutine. Yeah, that was the number one. Kimmy, thoughts on Le Petit Poutinerie?
I mean, that's a good one. I was thinking, just like a straight up
Old
basket
school.
of fries.
Okay.
But no, they've done a lot with the French fry.
So they break.
French fries are out of control.
All right, so that was the number one
All right.
overall. They did break it down
Yeah.
into different categories.
All
So
right.
to your point, they did a best classic / fast food.
American fry.
Okay.
Yeah, fast food and number one was
My pick.
Bill Gray's.
Yeah.
No, number one was.
I don't know. That's what I was gonna guess.
How are you so bad?
Well, you made it seem like it was something we had guessed
Tom
already.
Walls. Tom Walls
Oh,
was
okay.
number one
All
in the
right.
local fry. Who's
Right.
the best game?
Gotcha.
Followed by Shaler's, Bill Gray's, Charlie Rydell's in
Oh, yeah.
Western Ontario and Canandaigua, and then Barbill, which is actually a Buffalo company. Are the fries good at Barbill?
I don't know if I've ever had their fries.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's a wing joint more than anything.
Thank you. Tom Walls, number one French fry in town. Give me thoughts.
That's a good solid pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any of those joints like that are
Whoa.
delicious.
So you're saying all of those fries are the same?
I would say they're all. I wouldn't say any of them suck.
No, I'm asking. Do you
Similar
think-
style fry.
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot
saying
of
it's a
those
dead
places.
heat. Those joints.
So you say that Tom Walls, Shaler's, Bill Gray's, Charlie Rydell's, all of them have the same fry?
Yeah, I don't think any of them have a leg up. I think they're all great.
The one thing
Pandering ass bitch.
I
Yes,
do
I am.
I
wonder.
love you guys. You guys are awesome. Dad, high five.
I do wonder though
I
because
don't eat fries.
But I will say this: I love French fries as a fat boy.
Yeah.
I still take a McDonald's French fry over anything, man.
Shut up.
I do love that thin, crispy
Oh
fry.
my God!
If I get a choice between
Salt, oil,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
little
that's-
fry.
That's what goes on fry. If I got a choice between local fry or national fry, with the exception of Five Guys sometimes, I'm always going local fry.
Really?
Yeah. Because McDonald's
I
fries
prefer a
don't...
thinner fry.
What do you know? That's a stupid
So I know
take.
people love like the thick, crinkle cut
I
fries.
don't want to eat a
but
baked potato.
Yeah,
I want to eat a
it's-
French fry.
sometimes they're a little.
Goddamn
they're just
thing's
not my
just-
style.
It's like a boogie board.
But
I'm trying
that's
to put
what I
in
was
my
gonna
mouth.
ask because some of those places have different types of fries you can order. So are we just going based off of one type of fry.
It looks like we're going
because I
crinkle
think
cut
you
on
can
this
get
one.
like curly fries at some of those
curly fries
spots.
don't count as fries.
And your
They are
waffle fry.
fries.
Okay, waffle fry and curly
It's not
fries
French fry.
are fries, but it doesn't count as an actual fry. No, when I say fries, if I go get me fries and you come back with curly fries, that you didn't get me fries, you got me curly fries. If you go get me waffle fries, you didn't get me fries, you got me waffle fries. I like waffle fries. Curly, I can give her.
Well, how did you say they ain't a French fry, but that poutine slop is?
Because it
Did
is
you put your French goo all over it?
It's called Le Goût, and it's got fries
Only when your
in
mom
there.
is in Laytown.
Got that, Pete? Only when your mom.
I got there.
By the way, they break it down even further.
What?
They have a best fresh cut fries in Rochester category.
What's the difference?
All right. Well, those. What do you mean? What's the difference?
See what I mean? See what I mean? You sided with him, and this
I
is what you
know.
get. This is what you get.
So Bill Gray's
Fresh
ain't
cut
fresh
is like you
cut?
put that potato through the machine.
Like boom,
Chop
right
it
in
up.
front of you.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
do it right
Well,
immediately.
it doesn't. Yeah, it's made out
Okay,
of
I'm just
potatoes.
asking.
Idiot. Dinosaur barbecue, number one there.
Oh, they got good food.
Oh.
We got good. Well, good fries too.
I never think of that place for French fries.
No, me either. There's so many sides.
And then here's the one that really.
Yeah, I
pissed-
would not get
There's
French.
so many
No,
sides.
she's right.
There's a
I
lot of
wouldn't-
options.
sides,
I would
guys.
never pick French fries there.
Yeah, because they got so many unique, cool sides you can't get anywhere
Yeah.
else. I wouldn't waste my time with their French fries.
Here's what you do: you get the two sides, and then you get a basket of fries for
Man, you
everybody.
lame ass, non-barbecue eating French fry douche.
Did you not hear what I just said? Did he? He wasn't even
No,
listening.
you're the person that goes to a high-end Italian restaurant and gets the chicken parm.
Well, I mean, if it's
Yes,
a good
you
chicken
in it.
par, I will. Yeah, I don't want to. I want.
All that delicious Italian food.
Oh, it's like clams, but it's got like goo on it.
I love gooey clams.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You like gooey clams?
I love gooey clams.
You're not going to believe this.
What's going on?
I'm opening up a new business.
Where is this place you speak of?
It's in the men's room.
Well, what's it called?
It's called Uncle Pat's Gonna Goo Your Clam Up Good. Unfortunately, I
You
don't
should have
have
went with Captain. You should have went with Captain Pat's.
Oh, no, we don't have to work on the name. Unfortunately, I don't have any room for you because I'm gooing up your mom's clam right now. Gooed it up real good.
If only that was on a sign somewhere.
Gooed up your mom real good.
With the kiosk.
As we go back to this article, the Democrat Chronicle, again, the best fries in Rochester, number one would be Poutinerie. But when it came to fast food, again, we went with, what did I say?
Tom
I lost
Walls.
it. Tom Walls, thank you.
Yeah.
And then Fresh Cut was Dinosaur. The most controversial of the categories, they had a specific category for gourmet/fancy fries.
Well, see, I would have put the poutine in that.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Right.
What's a gourmet
Then what would
French
it-
fry? What do they do to it?
Okay, so
they got truffle fry?
Yeah, the winner was Strange Bird, the brewery.
What the hell is that?
They recently what? It's on Marshall Street.
Excuse me, hipster.
But even though I
Because
guess
I know addresses.
Take all my food. Take all my meals down on Marshall Street.
Excuse me, man, who figured out that roads have names and numbers to get you to places. What kind of witchcraft is that?
you know what I think of? If the place. Sorry, I'll let you get over this. If the place that is serving the French fries does not have ketchup, it's gourmet.
Okay. Ooh, that's a hot take.
Yep.
She's right. That's a really good take.
Because most of those places, like, they'll have like a special version of their ketchup or like a special sauce to dip it in. So like if they're not serving you straight up ketchup, that's a gourmet fry.
All right, so I will read you the description of the fries at Strange Bird. It says they are sprinkled with rosemary, sage, and parsley. So they're Simon and Garfunkel fries.
They're herbed up.
Served alongside preserved lemon aioli.
What the hell is that?
I've had it. It's good.
So that's like oil?
It's like lemon mayonnaise, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you call it lemon mayonnaise, it wouldn't sound fancy.
Yeah.
You want your lemon mayonnaise
Yeah,
for
see,
your
that doesn't,
fancy
sound
fry?
that doesn't sound appealing to me.
Rounding out the top 5 gourmet fancy fries. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Good Luck. That's on there.
All right.
The Gatehouse is on there. The Angry Goat is on there. And the Owl House is on there.
Owl
House, if I'm not mistaken, that's the vegan restaurant?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So I know like that truffle stuff is popular right now.
Truffle stuff, yeah.
Truffle fries.
Truffle and stuff.
I don't get it, man. I don't get the truffle. It smells like BO.
Is that like one of those things where sometimes like parsley tastes like soap to some people?
It's just
like
it's too
some people either
overpowering.
love it or hate it.
Yeah.
So I tried some of that truffle hot sauce.
Yeah.
It was nasty,
well, yeah,
man.
but is that the only truffle thing you've ever tried?
No, but it was like something that grew out of somebody's crotch. It smelled like BO.
Okay. I've had truffle butter before.
I don't want your BO butter.
No, I loved it. It was good. Truffle salt too.
Ugh. That's that taste.
I like it.
I bet you do.
I do. Well, I have a more sophisticated palate maybe than you.
What, for like stank?
Yeah, I got a sophisticated palate for like stank.
You almost have to be because some things just get too stinky, man.
Bro, you just talked about Italian food. You need to realize that. Don't eat the stinky truffles. Eat the worst smelling stuff coming out of an Italian. Your father ate tripe. Shut up. What an idiot.
Yeah, you're the king of stink.
We come back, wrap it up. Tell you what we're doing tomorrow next on CMF. That's going to be a Rapperoo.
The old Monday post-holiday Rapperoo.
Yep, for a Monday break room CMF. It makes tomorrow Tuesday. You know what that means?
Oh, yeah. That's that new hot segment. Where are they blowing up stuff in the hood with Kimmy?
Well, I mean, that could be one of them based on all the bomb stuff. Kimmy's got her post. Yep. She's going to read it out loud. We had Know Where They Whinin' next week because of the holiday. I mean, you can't celebrate America's birthday and figure out where they whining.
Yeah.
Because on the 4th of July, nobody should be whining.
That's true.
But we're going right back to it because we're Americans. We have that right to whine. Kimmy's going to read the post out loud. We're all going to listen.
You have to listen.
And because we know every stereotype about every neighborhood, town, village in the greater Rochester area, we're going to figure out where they whine in here just after 9 o'clock on the break room on CMF, plus a whole bunch more.
Wow.
Going to be lots of fun. I kind of, at some point, I want to get to something. I told you I was in D.C. With the family last week. And the main reason we went was to go, I told you, my grandfather is buried in Arlington. He was in Korea, right? And he didn't die in Korea. He died later.
Yes.
Like in the 90s. But big point of pride for him before he passed away when he found out, for our family, right? So I hadn't been there since they buried him.
It's an honor.
Yeah, I was 10 years old. I was very excited to be able to go back and like show this to my kids and my wife and everything. So we got there, and my wife made me and my kids take a picture in front of my grandpa's grave.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Why not?
It was it's weird.
Why?
I wasn't anticipating that happening.
Yeah, it's a strange thing, but I also understand why she wanted to do that.
But like we can.
I mean, it's a memory they'll always have.
Right.
Of seeing.
I mean, so, like you were there at this time. I don't know.
Like we can take a picture. All right, we'll get into it later this week.
No, but I mean, like if I was in front of like a famous person's grave. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of me in front of a famous person's grave.
You do?
Yeah, and I had the guy that worked there take it for me.
You're weird for that.
No, he's like a super famous person.
So like, okay, so
like if I went to the Lincoln his grave, I think it's in Springfield. I'm taking that picture.
You're gonna take a picture in front of it.
You
like,
would take.
hey
I get like taking a picture.
Hanging out with a dead guy.
Yes, but I mean, listen, obviously a long time ago, and it's a major part of history. It was a turning point in America.
But why? Question: Why do you need to be in it?
Well, because I'm there. I want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering, because you could just take a picture of the thing
Also,
to remember it.
Thank you. Also, my grandpa's not Abe Lincoln.
No, but I mean.
Oh, he wore a toupee. Much like his top hat. They have that in common. They were both tall.
I don't think there's anything wrong. All right.
And we'll get to it later this week here at the break. We're already out. We're late. We're getting looks from Kimmy. She doesn't want to be. The second she got back here, she wanted to go back on vacation.
You ain't kidding.
For Kimmy, who according to Tommy has the big hands to catch a major league foul ball.
Oh, me? Yes.
Yep. Yeah. For Tommy Muley, whose mother's getting her clam all cream.
What? No, that wasn't it. It was goo.
Gooed up. I'm sorry.
Gooed up clam.
That's
I'm
worse.
not eating your gooed up clam.
But I'll.
You said you were gooing my mother's
your mom's
clam
as we speak in my new kiosk.
Yes.
Yeah. Captain Pat's gooing your mom up real good clam shack. My name's Pat. Kimmy, you know we can't make these jokes around our wives, so when we get back, the first day is going to be nothing but goo.
Gross.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for that.
My name's Pat Duffy. We'll see you tomorrow morning at the break room, 6 a.m. on 96.5 WCMF.